Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all, to the Sonic Stadium's 25th anniversary. Yay! I don't know why there's an image in that corner of the screen. Let me just get rid of that. Is it gone? No. Where's it gone? Oh, I thought I had everything buttoned up. This is why it took me ages to actually get anywhere. Let me just put it... Ah. There we go. Like magic. That's why I wear the funny hat. How's it going, everyone? It feels like a million years since I was last doing an actual stream with you guys on this channel. It actually probably was maybe 5 years ago when I did a special announcement stream for the Sonic Studios 20th anniversary. So 5 years later, here we are. Let me know if you guys can hear me properly. I do have a microphone that's down there with a pop mic and everything. I'm trying to make sure it's all in the right place. But do let me know if you have any issues, because we've got a lot of stuff that we want to do today. We have so much to cover. We've got stories to tell. We've got things to announce, I guess. We got like cool things to win. You can't win that. That's like a little costume change. I actually got to take this off. It's really warm. I actually almost wore... It's the Insert Coin Sonic & Knuckles hoodie. I almost wore the varsity jacket, but it doesn't... Blue kind of weirdly doesn't look very great on me, ironically enough. So black it is. So yeah, welcome to the show. And you know, we're going to have some fun. We're going to play maybe a game if there's time. We're going to go through some contest entries. We had a Sonic Stadium 25th anniversary contest earlier in the week, and that ended just before the stream started. So I'm very, very interested to see what we can win together. So I hope everyone in the chat's doing well. There's a couple of people chatting at the moment. Sonic Joe, DTH1971, PokeAnime Matt, all of you, hello. And there's probably another 6 or 7 people also watching who aren't chatting, but hello to you as well. And if you're watching this after the fact, you know, just to mock my silly little hat or something, hello. And, you know, you can't chat to me because, you know, you'll be watching this as a VOD. So, whatever. So, let's get into it. It's the Sonic Stadium's 25th anniversary. Oh my gosh. So, I've got a lot of feelings about that, if you could imagine. You know, I started this site when I was 15 years old, and now I am 40 years old and hurtling towards a midlife crisis. So, it's kind of a strange feeling to know that this has kind of been the majority of my life, kind of leading and being part of like a vast part of a Sonic community online. So it feels really good to still, you know that there are people who are enjoying the site, enjoying the stuff that we do, the community that we've brought together, and even on social media where people aren't on like necessarily our channels, like people kind of are reminiscing about like when they were last at the Sonic Stadium, or when they were on the SSMB forums, when they listened to Sega Sonic Radio way back in the day. It's really, it means a lot. So thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for being a part of the journey. And obviously it wouldn't be the Sonic Stadium without just so many people who contributed to, you know, the content, the community, the moderation, just making sure that what we have built over the last 25 years has been, you know, really caring and inclusive community that looks after each other and tries to build up, you know, Sonic fandom rather than, you know, tear it down. So, you know, there's so many people to name over the years, but you know, if you want to congratulate someone right now, you can go to the SSMB forums and just start thanking some of the staff like Zaysho and Stricker, Chris and Ryan, everyone who is on the Team Tornado. Obviously he's going to get mad if I don't mention him, and obviously the Sonic News team. You know, you got Knuckles87, you got GX, you got Donny. Shut up, Donny, before you start saying anything. That's a joke, by the way. You know, there's so many people who've contributed to what the Sonic Stadium is, and I am just a small part of it. So I feel very honoured to, you know, have been going for so long, and very honoured that people are celebrating it with us. So thank you, basically. If you like the look of that logo, by the way, I'm pointing exactly the wrong way. There we go. That's a really cool logo that was designed for us by a really cool artist called Clarissa, who we reached out to on Twitter. to kind of commission that. So I liked some of the stuff that she did. She does like cool edits of like official Sonic logos and things like that. And yeah, I wanted to do a Sonic Stadium version of the Sonic Adventure 2 logo purely because Sonic Adventure 2, it was the very first game that we covered on the Sonic Stadium. It was the very first game that I previewed, in quote unquotes, because I had the demo disc from the Dreamcast version of Phantasy Star Online way back in the day, and I was so jazzed about that single level demo of City Escape that I just ran straight to an HTML editor in 2001 and just started typing away, going, this, you can still see it if you go on the Sonic Stadium website and search back far enough. You can actually find my original preview on that, where I basically just go absolute fanboy on it. I'd like to think my writing's gotten better over the years. Maybe it hasn't, maybe you disagree. But yeah, the Sonic Stadium, a big part of, you know, how it got started was Sonic Adventure 2 and a release of that. So there's, you know, I wanted to kind of honour that a little bit. So yeah, there's others that we've kind of had done as well with other artists that we've worked with as part of our artwork collaboration project for the Sonic Stadium's 25th. If you follow us on social media or just kind of visit our website frequently, you've probably already seen these. But I think these are amazing, and it just really shows just the creativity of the Sonic fan base. You know, this one in particular was from Tyler McGrath, who does a lot of cool IDW and Sega artworks. You see his artwork in some comics and comic book covers, and for this piece he wanted to kind of illustrate Sonic and characters through the years, the Sonic Stadium being a big part of, you know, Sonic's journeys since Sonic Adventure 2, and we worked together on that, and we thought it was really cool to kind of focus on the main characters that you see in Sonic Adventure 2. They're all jumping out of a warp ring, and they're all kind of jumping out of their own like little iconic scene that kind of matches their character. So Tails is jumping out of his workshop. Sonic is obviously jumping out of I think it's City Escape because he's on the board. Dr. Eggman's like jumping off his egg carrier or the ship from Sonic Unleashed, I think it is. Shadow, obviously, Radical Highway. It's really, really cool piece. It's one of my favourites that I've ever seen in my life. So it's yeah, it's very cool. So I wanted to show you that, and also the other pieces that we've done as well. I'm trying to queue up all these slides. I'm new to this whole OBS nonsense. There we go. Here's the next one. Everybody loves this guy. So Korn is a really prominent artist on social media, and he's just known for doing incredible artwork, as you can see here. We worked together on a Sonic Stadium piece, and yeah, it's just the Sonic Stadium manifest from the years of coverage that we've provided Sonic. It's just a lot of really cool imagery that chronicles Sonic's journey from the Sega Mega Drive all the way to the present day. And there's loads of cool knickknacks and little Easter eggs that you can see if you look closely enough. I don't know how high quality these are appearing on stream for you guys watching right now, but if you're ever interested, you can either go to our social media channels or on the sonicstadium.org, and all of these are in really high quality for you to just kind of ogle at and just kind of go, man, that's really cool. So yeah, this is also a favourite of mine. I mean, they're all favourites of mine, that's why I worked with them, but Korn's really popular, and you know, as you can see from this particular image, it shows, right? Like, I just really love the dynamism of the pose, and just, you know, he gets it, man. Like I said, just do a stadium. That was all the direction I gave, and he went, yeah, okay, got it. And then that came out. I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, we worked with that was yesterday, so that was day 4. We've done 5 of them. This next piece that we also had as part of our collab, you can't really see it properly because I've had to kind of crop it a little bit because of the way the screen is, so sorry about that. But this is from a chap I know quite well. Also does cool freelance artwork for Sega and IDW. His name is Mars, also known online as Arc. And yeah, you can't really see it in this crop. I've cropped this really poorly, I'm very sorry. But it is obviously a rendition of Sonic Generations, but Sonic Stadium style. So the idea is, the concept is that Sonic and Modern and Classic are running through a Sonic Stadium version of White Space, and in the background, just above or the crop, there is like it's like a rendition, a white spacey version of a really old version of the Sonic Stadium website. So yeah, I thought that was really, really nice idea, and I really love the 2 and the 5 and just how Modern and Classic are drawn. Like, honestly, it's just so amazing. I absolutely adore it. And Miles is also a long-time member of the Sonic Stadium message boards as well, so you know, I've seen him about from time to time. I think we actually went to the Sonic 3 movie premiere together as well, so that was really cool. Bump into him. So yeah, like it was really cool to work together again on something like this, because you know, we see about the Summer of Sonic in past years, and we haven't done one of those in a while, so it was really cool to have someone I know, a good pal, do some celebratory art for us. This next one, hang on, this background music image thing just keeps getting in the way. I really, really love this piece from someone new that I discovered called Clarissa. She did the logo, as you can see, the Sonic Stadium 25 Sonic Adventure 2 logo that I mentioned earlier. This is part of a bigger piece. So yeah, I saw her stuff online, and I was just really jazzed by how accurate to, you know, Uekawa's artwork and the classic Sonic style and all these different art styles that she had going on. So again, calling back to Sonic Adventure 2, I wanted to do something that kind of referenced that. And yeah, we came up with this piece, which is Sonic and Shadow trying to log on to the Sonic Stadium circa 2001. That is actually an accurate depiction of the Sonic Stadium website in 2001. I believe that's June 2001, version 3. So yeah, as I call it now, I've changed the version numbers 100 times, but that's the current version 3. White background, MIDI embeds to up the wazoo, so every page you clicked on was like Desert Palace MIDI just obnoxiously playing in the foreground, going bah, 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 bah. So yeah, probably wouldn't stick in modern browser standards, but in 2001 it was all the rage having music playing in the background. So yeah, what can I say about this piece except that I couldn't tell that you know, if you told me that Uekawa himself drew this one, I would believe you. So it's brilliantly well done, and very accurate to the style. I love it. I love it, and many of you loved it too, because there was a lot of good chat about that on social media around that one. And the final piece that we did, which was the first one we published on Monday, was from someone I know, I've met a couple of times on the convention circuit. Lovely person called Cess, known as the Chaos Spirit online, and yeah, I just love her artwork. It's as simple as that. And I thought, you know, I want to tag team with a bunch of artists who do some cool stuff, and yeah, Chaos Spirit's name was the top of my list, and yeah, this is what she developed for us. I didn't ask for this, but the cake concept, I really love the cake that's kind of designed like the Sonic Stadium logo with the blue and the yellow layers and stuff. And obviously it's King Sonic, so who can argue with King Sonic? If King Sonic wants to have a birthday on the 24th of October, i.e. not his birthday, who are we to judge, right? Who are we to judge? I'm certainly not one to judge. So yeah, it's fantastic pieces, all of them, and you know, I'm just really, really jazzed we're able to do this as part of this, you know, great celebration of our community and where we are and what we've accomplished. And you know, there are people who have started their online fandom on the Sonic Stadium. They've probably moved on to other places now on social media and other things like that. But you know, a lot of people say they remember when their first destination was the Sonic Stadium. So it's nice that for a lot of people this kind of comes full circle. So yeah, you can check all of these out on the Sonic Stadium website or on our social media channels. Yeah, happy 25th to us. So yeah, that's really great. Let us know if you have any comments or want to share any memories about the site or anything that you remember in the comments. There's a few comments from people. Oh, Escape to the City. He has joined the chat. I miss old web for stuff like that. I guess he's talking about the MIDI embeds that I mentioned earlier on old school websites. Yeah, I mean, I do miss some of the old janky stuff as well. But I think if kids today tried to log on and they just got obnoxiously thrown a load of like really crummy sounding music at them, they'd probably just throw their device at the wall. So yeah, you gotta live and learn with the changing technologies. So what else do we have to talk about, I guess, before we move on? Well, first of all, I guess we should announce. I mean, this is already public knowledge, but let's re-announce for the stream. I'm going to be at SonicCon UK, which is a really cool in-person convention. It's been going for a couple of years now, I think. They had one earlier this year. They're doing one in November the 1st in London, and you cannot see the details in the slide that I've put here because my site logo is covering it. But if you're going to this convention as well, it's currently sold out, so you can't book tickets now if you want them, unfortunately. But if you are going, I'll be there, so feel free to say hello, or tell me how much my opinion on Sonic and the Black Knight sucks or something. But if you also want to like catch up on some more detail on the Sonic Stadium and some of the history behind that, I'm actually hosting a panel and on day one, on the Friday, I believe, or was it the Saturday? 1st November. I can't remember. I can't think. It's like nearly 10 p.m. in the evening, so my brain's gone to mush. So yeah, 1st November in the morning, 10:30 in the morning, at the Sonic stage. If you want to swing by and hear me chat nonsense about Sonic and the community and how it got started, I've got a bunch of stories about that. Things like how, I practically established the Sonic online community team by way of going to a nightclub in London, which is kind of strange. I'd love to tell that story. Not one for today though. I'm going to save it for the con. But we're going to have a few tall tales to tell, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So come by and say hello. So the other thing I want to also talk about is the TSS Time Warp. We've updated this. So if you don't know what this is a huge kind of vanity project of mine, I guess you could call it that, where I have tried to take it upon myself to remaster, if you like, every single old version of the Sonic Stadium and website, I guess, on the broader TSS network that used to exist about some 20 years ago, just for posterity, right? If you ever are curious about what old sites used to look like back in 2001, 2002, 2003, whatever, you can kind of dip into this Time Warp thing and check it out. Biafra Republic, one of our old staffers who used to he was a staff forum moderator, but then was also I reminded myself as I was actually doing this project, a maintainer for our Sonic Fan Club fan art section as well in the mid 2000s. So hi Biafra, he says LOL remaster, and yeah, okay, it sounds funny, but it actually genuinely is, because I haven't like just taken the HTML code for a lot of this and just bunged it like on a web space, right? Like I've actually redone all of the pages, and the reason for that is twofold. Like point one is, well, I don't have a lot of these HTML pages left. Like I'm recalling a lot from like Wayback Archive or Wayback Machine, as well as some of the few bits of original materials that I have still left on my systems. I was not very good at keeping archives of all my stuff from the years of 2000 to about 2007, I guess. So a lot of that is kind of lost in the noise. So I had to remake a lot of that stuff. But also, if I just bunged all the HTML stuff online, like a lot of modern devices don't like that stuff, as evidenced by the MIDI stuff I mentioned earlier, right? So to that point, actually, if you go you can visit the version 3 right now of the Sonic Stadium, minus auto playing MIDIs, right? I found a way to embed MIDIs into that remastered page, but it has a little button now. So if you want to play it, you can press the button. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to press it. So it's great for user choice. But it's also been remade with like, you know, CSS stylings and, you know, PHP this and that, and you know, it's there's tweaks for modern mobile devices as well. Like, you know, some of the old styles are like really rooted in like tabled designs. So if you try and visit some of these new remastered versions in a mobile device, some of the actual menus that were fixed on the left hand side will just disappear, and there'll be a button that will kind of show them in a drawer and hide them. So that's the sort of stuff I've been working on. But yeah, we've got about 6 designs of the Sonic Stadium Live already, so pretty proud of how that's going, given that it's otherwise technically kind of an impossible project, simply because of the lack of original archive material that I have. So it's all kind of being reconstructed from memory, or, you know, little bits and bobs here and there. But there is a small announcement in relation to the Time Warp, in that if you go to the Time Warp website now, and if you are an avid, you know, aficionado of old stuff, and you visited the Time Warp a number of times before, and you go, yeah, that's great, Dread, like, but, you know, I've seen version 1 already, like, you keep talking about it, you know, change the record, right? Well, here's a new record, yeah? So I've added a whole bunch of other stuff. So today, as of today, you can visit the a remastered version of what I call version 7, which was live between the months of I think it was March to August 2003, sorry. So you can see the version of that, complete with like really cool headers, you know, old school looking headers. You know, I created all of these in like Macromedia Fireworks, which doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, I've also added, this is a small miracle actually, I've managed to recreate the original version 1 websites of Sega Sonic Radio, which was, if you don't remember, or you're too young to remember, it was a live 24/7 streaming radio station that played nothing but Sonic music, and it's had a bit of a storied history on the Sonic Stadium. It was something that I created in 2001, and it was originally just like live shows, a bit like Twitch really, but audio. I would set up a little server and I'd do little radio shows like this, where I'm just talking for like an hour on end or whatever. And, you know, apparently we had an IRC chat room. Does anyone remember those IRC chat rooms? But even before IRC chat rooms, we used AOL Instant Messenger chat rooms, so that when we were doing live radio shows, we could interact directly with the audience in much the same way as we do now with Twitch. So yeah, that was something that started that way, and then there was a website called the Zone Radio Network, which was like a kind of like a directory of different video game themed radio stations of the same kind of vibe, like non-stop streaming, you know, auto playing music. And yeah, I was kind of on and again, off again with that network, and then I just decided to just do my own thing with it. So Sega Sonic Radio was that, and I have some level of versions of like some of the older Sega Sonic Radio websites, but that original one has always eluded me, and somehow I managed to find the pieces to put that back together. So it's not really much to look at, so you'll probably click on it in 30 seconds, you'll click off and be like, boring. But for me personally, I'm like, this is a win. It's like digging up gold dust for me, because I'm a massive web design nerd, so whatever. The other thing, there's a third thing as well. I was able to restore the original website for the 2003 edition of the Sonic Site Awards, which was another thing I launched in 2001 alongside Sega Sonic Radio, and it's basically an awards ceremony. So yeah, it was quite popular back in the day. First time chat, Alt Evolutions. Hearing about the TSS network again makes me feel so old, given I joined as part of Fast Feet Media. I remember Fast Feet Media. Before joining SSR for a short few years in the late 2000s, obviously under a different name back then. I remember, and I know exactly I know exactly what radio DJ name you were on Sega Sonic Radio Alt Evolution. So and I won't spoil what it is in case you don't want it to be known. But yeah, we had once Sega Sonic Radio was in its stride, we actually had like a large number of people doing radio shows, like myself and my brother, who went online as Rory Black. We do a weekly show called the Sonic Hour every Sunday for not really an hour. It was usually like 2 hours or an hour and a half. That was kind of the running gag. It was called the Sonic Hour, but it was never an hour. And we just chat nonsense. But that kind of ballooned, and then other people started becoming part of our roster, and then we ended up having like about 10 people doing different shows at different times of the day on the same network, and it was great. It was a lovely time. Sadly, with the rise of Twitch and social media and stuff like that, it became more and more hard work to kind of maintain something like that. But maybe one day we'll do sort of a reminisce of Sega Sonic Radio and maybe do something about that. So who knows? Who knows indeed? I guess I should announce some more things. Bear in mind, my focus has been a lot on this art project and the time warp stuff, so I haven't really had a lot of time to really do a lot of other things. But I would like to announce a few things for the community, the Sonic Stadium community, because these are things I want to do between now and the end of the year, right? So I don't know why my face has not appeared on here. Why has my face not appeared? My face has disappeared. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so let's roll through these. More announcements. What I'd like to do, speaking about Sega Sonic Radio, I'm currently dipping my toe into remastering some of the really old Sonic Hour episodes that we used to have on XMLs and podcasts and things like that. I would like to kind of revisit some of those and let you guys just kind of enjoy what a couple of Sonic knobs were talking about back in 2003, and it was largely Sonic Heroes related. But so Sega Sonic Radio, I want to revisit that in some way. I'd like to offer some remastered versions of some of our more old school episodes of content, so look forward to that. The Sonic Battle Stadium, says PokeAnime Matt. Yes, it's true. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, and I was hoping to get this done this week, but the powers that be upstairs, I guess God, I don't know who I'm talking about here, kind of deemed it not appropriate to do it now. So maybe next week, maybe in early November, we're going to be setting up the scene for Sonic Battle Stadium. Now, if you don't know what this is a really, really deep cut for those who are really old Sonic Stadium heads. But on the really first edition of the Sonic Stadium message boards, the SSMB forums, we had a little online role-playing game. Its own forum it was, called Sonic Battle Stadium, where users could create their own character. They built their little statistics of hit points, and they created their own move sets and things. And the objective would be they'd go into a battle arena and they would role play, fight each other to the, not the death, because PG-13, but to the exhaustion, I guess, is the right way of saying it. And yeah, we let that run for a couple of months. It was really popular, relatively speaking, for a brand new forum. And yeah, I was the kind of judge, jury, and executioner of that whole thing. I called myself Grandmaster Dreadknux, and I was overseeing every single battle, and making sure people weren't cheating, and making sure people were sticking to their statistics and everything like that. So yeah, I'm bringing that back as a limited time only thing. I don't want to be spending my entire life like judging battles, but I want to do that. And the Sonic Battle Stadium is actually ironically one of the few things that I actually have a lot of old material for. So I still have a lot of the text files that have like all of the original statistics, stuff like that. Another super deep cut, even for those who might remember the original Sonic Battle Stadium, there was a season 2 of Sonic Battle Stadium where I changed it up and introduced things like weapons play, and the audience, people who weren't battling but were reading the forums could become active participants by throwing items into the arena for the battle participants to take advantage of. It didn't really last that long because people didn't really take to the new systems, but yeah. So I'm fusing a bit of the two together and trying to bring back some of that old magic. Speaking of which, the Sonic Sites Awards, the last one we did was in 2010, and I want to bring that back again today. And I want to launch a new version of the Sonic Sites Awards. Obviously, Site Awards is a bit of a misnomer now, given that everything is very social media focused and influencer based these days. But it will be adjusted for modern times, and there will be awards based on, you know, things like most active Twitter accounts, or social media accounts I should say, you know, most interesting YouTubers, obviously active forums. There'll be some classic awards in there too, but you know, I think in this modern era, I think there is a lack of, you know, people celebrating other people, and the Sonic Sites Awards was really established by me originally to just kind of help, you know, people get their flowers, you know, in a way, like, and I think in today's era where people get so drowned out by noise, from, you know, negativity this and negativity farming that and toxic positivity this and all the rest of it, I think, you know, there needs to be a return to, you know, the community just celebrating each other. And so I want to bring back the Sonic Sites Awards, so look out for more details on that too. And the other things I wanted to talk about is a merchandise store. Finally, the amount of times people have asked me, hey Dread, you should do a store for merchandise. You know, for one reason or another, mostly because I couldn't be bothered, you know, I haven't done it. I didn't do it. So I want to do that this time. You know, it's the 25th anniversary. Let's do some stuff. There will be merchandise based on logos of the Sonic Stadium, Sega Sonic Radio. You know, the reason why I haven't launched it now is because I'm only just playing around with it now, and I want to try and get some of the samples from the drop shipping place that I'm working with. You know, I'm doing a Shopify thing. I'm trying to be as lazy as possible with it, really. But I want to make sure the quality is good. So I want to get a couple of samples, and then I want to make sure the quality is good before, you know, I just start letting you buy pins of Sonic Stadium logos that might, you know, actually cut you and cause garrote you by accident or something, right? So I don't want that to happen. So, you know, I'm thinking of mugs, I'm thinking of posters, the collaboration artworks that I showed off earlier. Some of those art pieces, you know, I've been given permission to, for a limited time, you know, sell merch of that. So to promote the Sonic Stadium's 25th anniversary. So look out for stuff that will be, you know, involving some of the artworks that we've also shared on social media too. So maybe it'll be posters, maybe it'll be, you know, one of Tyler's Sonic characters on a mug, maybe it's you know, Sonic trying to access Sonic Stadium from 2001 on a pin badge, I don't know, but you know, more details to come on that. And finally, I mentioned this before, is Sonic Stadium music albums. I am a huge fan of these. I've talked about these non-stop for the last 20 years, but basically, if you don't know what these are, they're pretty buried on the Sonic Stadium, to be honest, these days, so I need to really surface these more. But our community is amazing. The Sonic Stadium message board community is incredible, and something like 20 odd years ago, or maybe 15 years ago now, a whole bunch of them got together and decided to make a remix album, and that actually carried on for a couple of years. So we've got a couple of music albums under our belt under the Sonic Stadium brand, and you know, I think there's one YouTube channel that's kind of nicked our album and decided to put it on there, and I need to kind of have a word about that because that's rude, because it's ours. So but what I want to do is put all of them on our YouTube channel, and so if you want to listen to them, you can do that in a new and different way. You can still download the MP3s, you can still download the actual albums from the official websites, as you always have been, but I want to give people another platform to access those. So that's one thing I want to explore too. So if I just switch off and show my face again for a second. Why am I on this particular page? I don't know why I'm on that particular page. I want to be in this particular page. So yeah, let's show you some things as well. So here's an idea that I'm playing around with regards to the Sonic Stadium. So as you know, we kind of changed up the entire layout of the site. We called it version 20 some months ago, and it coincided with a complete platform upgrade for the entire site. We've been on a really amazing journey the last couple of years on the Sonic Stadium, where we've had a forum site and a news site, and a couple of years ago I was able to kind of merge those together so that we can, you know, have the community collaborate on both things and enjoy both sides of the coin. And the next step of this was the version 20 reboot, I guess you can call it that, where we're focusing a lot on tagged content, and there's some really cool skins there, and you know, a lot more community based apps that you can kind of take advantage of, like galleries and blogs and all the rest of it. But one of the things I want to tackle, and one of the things I would like feedback on from you guys if you visit the Sonic Stadium often, is, you know, discoverability of content. Things like homepage design is a big concern of mine all the time. I'm always changing up the homepage design because I want to make sure that it looks good, it looks accessible, and everybody can get to what they want as quickly as they possibly can. So I wanted to quickly show off a design that I am working on right now. And yeah, basically at the top we've got a whole bunch of latest news here, and it's a full width design. So this is on desktop, but on mobile it will kind of look better as well. So hopefully I won't change my mind, and this will become something that I will implement very soon. But also, you can also access this already, but here's a little cheat code for someone who might not know this. You can actually access different color schemes of the Sonic Stadium if you have a Sonic Stadium account. So when you're logged in, you can click on this little menu at the bottom. This also works on mobile, and you can change the theme. So there's Sonic up here, and if you go all the way back down again, there's Amy Rose, and there's dark and light versions of it as well. So dark and light. So at the moment we've been defaulting to what I call So Super, because, you know, it's gold and I couldn't be bothered to make a Sonic Stadium themed skin to celebrate. But next week it will be Halloween, so I just want to show you this and get you ready for the season, because it's King Boom Boo time very soon. And, you know, I love King Boom Boo. Even in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I love King Boom Boo. He is an absolute lad. So I will champion him all day long, is basically that. We will get to announcing the winners of the contest very soon. So we'll get right on that very soon. I just also want to share with you just a quick overview of a really classic site. We've added this to the TSS Time Warp earlier today. I mentioned it. It's version 7, and this is kind of what it looks like on desktop. It kind of looks better on desktop, as old designs usually do. So you can kind of browse this at your leisure. This is one of the few designs from this point on. A lot of stuff was actually saved, so you can kind of click to Sonic News. I said that, and now a lot of these are kind of dead links, but you know, most of these are working. But you can go to interviews, articles. There's different channels. There's a media channel which has a Tails header. There's an other channel which has a Knuckles header. Painstakingly recreated these, by the way, because I did not have the original headers. I just had the bottoms. So I was just kind of trying to figure out how to connect the pieces together and remake all of these. So yeah, it was a lot of effort. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But I also wanted to quickly give you a sneak peek. I've only just started work on this. Version 8. Now, hopefully some of you will be old enough to remember this more than any of the other previous ones, because we're starting to get into 2005 territory. This is 2003, 2004 era, And the closer we get to 2005, 2006, people start to really kind of get on board with like the Sonic Stadium and what it looked like then, and people start to really like get nostalgic for it. But we've got the splash page. This is when I started playing around with lots of unique, like rotating front page designs. I was talking a lot about something called Operation Grand Slam, and this is the homepage for version 8.1, I think it is. I haven't really done much. I've just done the front page, but also you might remember this one more. Back when Sonic Heroes was being promoted and stuff, the site kind of looked a bit more like this. So yeah, that's about as far as I've got with that. So that will be hopefully when I'm finished with that will go live soon, and you shouldn't be looking at that. That's the wrong tab. But that actually, do you know what? Screw it. That's kind of a preview of the store that I'm kind of playing around with. I've only got 2 products I'm looking at here. A Sega Sonic Radio logo cap, because I think that's just a really baller idea. And one of the old logos but done as a holographic sticker. So, not doing too much with it, but once I start filling it out with some stuff, we'll have more to talk about on that. So, the bit we're all waiting for, let's talk about some of the contest winners and some of the contest entries. So, first of all, let's talk about the contest. So, to celebrate our 25th anniversary, for those who don't know, I basically set up a contest and gave you all a task, which was do something creative, like a birthday card or a video or something like that, just to say happy birthday to the Sonic Stadium. Can be as creative as you like, can be as lazy as you like, but it just has to be something, right? So we've had quite a fair number of entries actually, and we've got some cool prizes. So let me I've got the box here, shipped from Japan. Let me just have a look here. I just knocked my mic over. Hopefully that's okay. So the idea is I've got 5 prizes, and each prize has an additional thing to it. So there's like 5 of one thing, and then 4 of another thing, 3 of another thing, 2 of another thing, and so on and so on. So we have, as part of our delectable, hang on, let me just put the keyboard over there because I'm running out of space. We have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 4 of those. So we have 4 clear file sets. I don't know if you can see that, but 4 clear file sets of Sonic Picked variety. That's one of them, and the other side. Oh my goodness, the light is not being my friend today, is it? There we go. Yay! Right, so, but yeah, as you can see, it's Shadow Generations and Sonic Frontiers themed. So there's 4 of those, and each winner gets 1 of those, right? So let's just organise these for a second. Actually, I've got 5 of these cool little coasters, tatami coasters. There's 5 of those. So 5th place winner will just get 1 of these. 4th place winner will get 1 of these and a clear file, and so on and so forth. So it's 5 of those. There are 3 sets of shadow pins. Hopefully you can see that. So there you go. That's Shadow the Hedgehog pin with a Chaos Emerald. There's loads of these. Like Japan is selling like a whole set of these with like Sonic in a thing and Eggman in a thing. Shadow is a Chaos Emerald, so I thought, you know what, that's the one I'll pick. Also, everybody loves Shadow, so I've got 2 of these pens, these cool little pens to give away. They are, well, one of them's upside down, but they're Sonic and Friends themed, and they are Sonic the Hedgehog in a cool little Japanese outfit. And first prize will get all of those things, plus this cool little acrylic block of Sonic Picked, and it's King Sonic. So we've got that, and also there's a couple of prizes that I've tried to give away in previous contests, and hasn't really hasn't really gotten anywhere because either like the whole prize have just bounced off and I've had to find like alternate prizes to give to those people, or there's just I've tried to reach out to the winners and they won't let me send the things to them. So we're going to find another way. But one of the prizes from past contest, I'm also throwing into the mix. It's a vinyl. It's a vinyl album of Sonic Frontiers. I previously gave it away last year, but the poor winner, I think they lived in Brazil, and I tried to send it to them, and for some reason or another, for the life of both of us, it just did not reach its destination. So I had to kind of give them a secondary prize of equal value, and take that vinyl home. So that vinyl has to go somewhere. I can't show you it because it's still in a packaging, and I can't bother to get it out of the box. So it's there. I promise you it's there. But you can win that as well as all this stuff as well. So let's go. First of all, I'm on the Sonic Stadium website because that's the first place you should go. Here's a couple of stories here. I asked people to tag Stadium 25 is what I asked people to tag in order to enter the contest. So the first thing we have here is Ryan #1 Scarer, and he's a moderator, so you know what, I can't really put this high on my list, but you know what, let's just see what he has to say, because I'd like to go through all of these anyway, give everyone a fair shake. So it's a brief recount of their time there. Here we are, 25 years of the Sonic Stadium. For over just 11 of those 25 years, I've called this place my daily residence for fandom, interaction and discussion. If you asked me in 2014 if I'd still be here in 10 years and more over an actual member of staff, I'd have probably said I don't know, predict the future, but that sounds kind of nuts, honestly. The thing that brought me here is Archie Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a long story, part of the influenced Bumblekin forums. There was a strict rule that Ken Penders was a he who should not be named figure. No comment. This made it rather frustrating as I'd been made aware of Archie Sonic for years and desperately wanted to collect it for years. Right when I finally got my chance with Worlds Collide, I found out most of the original stuff was going to be exiled. We couldn't even discuss why. That research ran into a Ken Penders and Lara Sue Chronicles, led me to a topic here, encouraging free discussion on it. That's ultimately why I joined. That topic is on the SSMB forums and it's still going. I think it's like 10 years old now. And it's still one of the most popular topics on the forum for some reason. But anyway. So Ryan goes on, talks about some of the events that he's made as part of his time here. Made a lot of friends on the website, people he regards as extraordinary close friends, milestone moments, the infamous server fart that wiped a heap of stuff from the site and everyone joked about. Yeah, don't remind me. That's happened a couple of times. That's not just one time. World's longest stats update when it became the central place for TSS members to chat for a bit. The god-awful anniversary party in 2016-2017. Where like soldiers of war. Yeah. I know a lot of this is just rambling, but honestly, as Sonic Stadium approaches 25 years old, I can only just say thank you for everything. For some people, this site is just a place for Sonic that needs to be dropped and maybe talked about. For me, it was a key part of my life for 10 years. It's responsible for so many things that I've done and people I've met and befriended once since. Sonic Stadium is something truly special. I wouldn't be the same person without it. Thank you for everyone who makes this place so awesome. Oh, thank you very much, Ryan. That's a really heartfelt message. I really like that. Thank you for sharing that. This next entry, I believe it's an entry, from Sonic Freak. Greetings from the Netherlands. Today on my birthday, I've created my Sonic Stadium account after all these years of lurking on the site. I don't think this is an entry to the contest. I think he just tagged Stadium 25 because he wanted to talk about being a very cool Sonic fan. And do you know what? I respect that. So, welcome to the family, Sonic Freak. Make sure to mind your P's and Q's and we'll have a good time. Sonic Speedster. Here's a short video entry saying happy 25 years of Sonic Stadium, which is an amazing place. I don't know if I'll share it, but I'm very wary of playing videos without people's consent. So I think PokeAnime Matt, who's in the chat, actually mentioned he had a video that he wanted to submit as part of this as well. So I don't actually know. I'm going to let PokeAnime Matt in the chat. Can you tell me if you are okay for me to watch this video live Or at least skim it if it's too long, and I'll watch the rest of it later. Because I didn't get a chance to watch it earlier today. I'll be brutally honest with you. I have watched this video from Sonic Speedster. It's very heartfelt. It's really nice. It's a really nice message. So thank you for that, Sonic Speedster. Don't take it personally that I won't share the video. It's purely because I don't want to just basically share stuff that I don't think people will be comfortable being shared very publicly. So this is not a contest entry. This is just me talking about the SonicCon. So let's just ignore that. Let's see. Here we go. So we have an art piece from Ratchet25 Techs. He's a very long time member of the forums. Very cool guy. 25 is for some reason my favourite number. Well, that's funny. Has a good ring to it too. So this is 2025. It's a perfect year to celebrate Sonic Stadium's 25th anniversary. Not like it was created in 2000 or anything. LOL. Well, it was. What do you mean by that? I'm scared. Anywho, what an amazing site and amazing community, and I hope we can continue on for another 25 years. Well, you get what I mean. Do I? Cheers to the stadium, and happy 25th anniversary. Oh, that's really nice. And look, there's a little Dreadknux there too. Oh, look at that. It's very cool. I didn't realise the white circle wasn't very circle-like. I fixed it now. Okay. I don't know what that means either, but respect the hustle. Silver was here, has posted another text entry for the contest. My time on TSS thus far, a brief summary. How brief is it? How brief are we talking? It's not very brief, mate. Let's have a look. I haven't been on Sonic Stadium very long, less than a year at the time of writing, but I think it's definitely changed my life for the better. Being able to connect with like-minded individuals, even though I don't technically know them, has definitely helped me. I laughed. That's about it. I haven't cried over anything yet. Good. Don't cry. Well, you can cry. You can be in control of your emotions. I'm just saying, I hope nothing on my website makes you cry in a bad way. But I've had a fun time. I figured for funsies, not for the comp, I'd do a little time. Oh, okay, well, you know, fine, it's not for the competition. I'll do a little timeline summary of my time here as of me writing this. Well, I hope you don't mind me subjecting the world to this. I keep saying Silver was here. I'm sure this member does this on purpose. His name is actually Sliver was here. So let me just correct myself on that. So yeah, it's a bunch of artwork that this member has done. Little edits and things like that. Time-lapse videos. You know, I actually quite dig their artwork as well. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, these are all images they've uploaded to the gallery as well. So, you know, you can, if you're interested, you can check out Sliver's fan art gallery via any of these links, and that looks suspiciously like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So, on that bombshell, I'm going to click off of that. So, who's next? My message for the Sonic Stadium Anniversary Contest from Shiny Gems. He said he was going to do a poem. Shiny Gems from our forums. Boy, it's kind of easy to believe, yet still kind of hard to believe that it's been 25 years since Sonic Stadium first came on the internet. Still here we are, after a lot of good times and bad times this place may have had in the past. This feels like AI. Regardless, I think it's mostly good times that happen here. This site, created by the ever-awesome Dreadknux, thank you, is something I'm sure a lot of people have gone over to over the years, and me, honestly, was not part of this site, or any part of the Sonic fandom until the days after the announcement that Sonic Unleashed. Yes, a lot of people are still upset and angry after the whole thing that was Sonic 06, and by some, I mean, which plenty of people did not like Sonic Unleashed, mostly for the werehog, but through thick and thin, I was optimistic. Yeah, cool. A lot of people love Sonic Unleashed. I dig Sonic Unleashed. Right, here's the poem. On one day on this month, sometime after, maybe I'll just try and sing it. Should I try and sing it? Nah. On one day on this month, sometime after his birth, a new site to honour him was born as a site on Earth. The Sonic Stadium had come to celebrate the best blue guy. With so many dedicated fans, there was no need to ask why. Through the Hedgehog's good days to the very worst times of it all, the fan site and all its members had believed, and that never did fall. This community has had many times of fun, excitement and support through 25 years of existing, which had fun of different sorts. With such very strong dedication from a large pool of loving fans, those fans cheered the blue one to go so fast because he cared. So many things have happened as the site continued to grow, to be such a great kind of place for any fan of the Hedgehog to go. May good times continue onward. May we strive and keep having fun. I wish a happy 25th anniversary to the site called Sonic Stadium. Yay! What a lovely poem. Thank you, Shiny Gems. I enjoyed reciting it. Let's just line some of these up so I can organise the entries. Here's one here from Escape the Law. And they've made a Sonic picture out of Lego. I like that. That's cool. Look at that. I don't know what a circle is, he says. Well, that's okay. Happy 25th anniversary. It's been almost a year since I joined. Have to admit, this site is the healthiest Sonic community I've been in. I don't know what else to say. Well, you don't have to say anything else. Just send us the photo and hope you win. So, congratulations. That's a great entry. Good job. Very creative. We'll skip some of these because these are basically my blog posts and things like that. Oh, hello. Look at this. Pardon me. Happy 25th anniversary birthday. I can't read anymore. Sonic Stadium contest submission from Drawn Till Dawn. I've been a very long time lurker from social media and finally made an account today. So hello. I wanted to use both the modern and classic Sonic for this to celebrate the many generations you have all covered. Hope you like it. Thank you guys for your dedication to covering all sorts of Hedgehog related news and keeping us updated over these 25 years. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you so much for the amazing art piece. I really like that. Sonic Stadium, happy birthday. And you know what? You put modern and classic Sonic from Sonic Generations in front of me, you know, you're going to be my friend, right? Like, it's one of those games that just kind of screams Sonic Stadium to me, you know? Like, it's a bit like Sonic Adventure 2. Like, if you were to tell me, like, hey, what are the games that you mostly associate with, like, the Sonic Stadium discourse? Like, people going mad over this game and people going, like, hype over this, and Sonic Generations is definitely up there. Like, when that game was being announced, even to when it came out, like, the forums were just completely lit up with epic discussion on this, like, non-stop. Sonic 4 too, but for very different reasons. The Project Needle Mouse stuff was very, very active, let's put it that way. Sonic Adventure 2 was another one. But Sonic Generations, I'd say that was probably the game where we had probably the most activity. And it felt like a real party. Like, just the build up to that. Everyone on the forums was just having a lot of fun, just chatting and speculating about what could be on it. And, you know, it helps that the game itself is actually pretty damn good. So, you know, that's always a bonus. I really, 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 really like this entry. That's going really high up on the list. So, well done, Drawn Till Dawn. You've made me very happy. That's a very, very good entry. Let me put that there for a second. Here's another entry. My 25th anniversary contest entry. Oh, someone else is looking at this. Hello, Shareholders the Hedgehog. Do you have stonks? Oh, this is Shareholders the Hedgehog actually posted this. Okay. Cool. I've been lurking since some point in late 2023, shortly after I became a Sonic fan. This is a really cool, like, anecdote that everyone seems to share. It's like, I like your site. I used to lurk all the time and I only just joined. And it's like, you used to, like, they would visit the site for like 5 years before making an account. And I'm like, you know, that feels, I don't know if it feels strange, but it feels nice, right? Like, it's like you want to get used to something before you become, like, fully committed. I don't know if that means basically my site is you know, basically like having a relationship with someone, but it's a weird thing to think about. But you know, I'm on the brew today, so you know, Iron Brew, so you know, maybe that's my brain chemicals going weird. So yeah, they've been lurking since 2023. I honestly can't remember how, when exactly I originally found the Sonic Stadium. Checking this out has become such a standard part of my routine that I forgot how it started. Quickly became an invaluable resource. First for getting caught up on what was currently going on in the franchise I'd only just gotten into, then see all the new stuff as it was coming out. Getting to see new games go from initial leaks all the way to launch and beyond, alongside a community of fellow fans speculating and celebrating, has been incredible. I didn't get around to finally creating an account until after the V20 site redesign back in August, but it was definitely worth it. So happy 25th anniversary. Here's my contest entry. It's a mosaic of the current logo made from 784 different images from across the history of the entire Sonic franchise. What? There's stuff from the games, comics, movies and more, from Sonic 1 concept art to Crosswell key art. Each image was individually cropped and placed to form the full. But jeez, Louise, that is effort. Holy moly, that's definitely worth a biscuit. Look at that, guys. That's incredible. Like it's the Sonic Stadium logo, but it's, oh my god. Can we zoom in? Can I zoom in? Am I allowed to? Will Google let me zoom in? Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Now can I click off? There we go. Oh my god. So I see. Oh god. Now I can see very specific things here. This is really cool. There's some official Uekawa Knuckles artwork. I see some of the yellow stuff. I see the some of the official Sonic channel stuff. Right click and open the image in a new tab. Do you know what? Thank you, PokeAnime Matt. That's a really good idea. See, this is what happens when you become old. Or unk. Do people still say unk? Is that a thing that people say now? Oh, hello, there we go. Way. Oh, it's very clear now. Look at this. I like the use of the Sonic movie Dr. Robotnik there as well. One of the yellow images there. Oh, look at this. This is so very cool, isn't it? Drill Wisp. Pictures of Tails. Sonic Prime Sonic. Metal Sonic. Game Informer covers. Sonic Rush Adventure. Way. Tails Adventure logo. This is sick. Do you know what? Like, props for the effort, man. Like I'm that's really, really cool. That's definitely high up in my estimations. Well done. That's a great effort. Let's see, what else have we got here? We got 25 years of Sonic the Hedgehog. Who did this? Maple syrup. Dreadknux is super. Like, literally. Hey, thank you. Congrats for keeping the Sonic Stadium nice and happy for 25 years and wishing for more to come. This is only part of my entry. I have an entire speech written coming soon. Oh. Okay. Where is that? I should probably look for that first. I'm guessing this is it. Is this the thing? Happy birthday, Sonic Stadium. It's also from Maple Syrup. Woo! Oh, that's cute. Right, okay, let's read a bit of this. So, dear Sonic Stadium, little birdie told me it was your birthday. That birdie being probably me with a massive megaphone. Not just a birthday, your 25th birthday, and I've got to say, this is a miracle. Thanks. Frankly speaking, this entire site is a miracle. I'll take that as a compliment. In a world full of toxic TikTok and Twitter, we've got you. No matter who we are, how old we are, where we live, things that we prefer, there's one thing that binds this entire community together, and it is Sonic. Just one freaking hedgehog. Also, a lot of forum sites are forgotten quickly, but you'll manage to stay an active community for 25 years. That's really impressive. Yeah, I think it is. So my experience with TSS, it's pretty nice. Not a lot of Sonic fans are easily spotted out in the wild, and all I wanted to do was just yap about it. So I joined here just to do that. But what I got was much more than a yapping space. I got to belong to a community. It's really nice to talk to people who get what I'm talking about and not dismiss it as crazy as often as others. I got encouraged to try out new things too, like digital art or 100%ing a game. TSS has helped me learn how to love my Sonic-obsessed self and get out thoughts that keep me awake all night. Sure, I've had my lows, but I'm forgetting about the rain. Got the reference? Is that TJ Davis? Or is that like one of them 90s bangers that I'm vaguely remembering? The best part, the people I've met here. You're a pure people, which is pretty rare on big social sites. I've made a lot of friends and acquaintances on here, and it's really cool. You have helped me cope with being lonely earlier last year, and we do a bunch of random crap, like develop a fan game concept, collaborative arts pieces, showing off our Roblox skins, and many, many more. I watched Sonic come out of the clouds and break it through it all. I get that reference. And now look at Sonic X Shadow Generations and Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Look at the Sonic movies. I'm so glad we've come this far. I know I've not been here for long, but it shows that it does not take long to genuinely care about the site, because admit it, the site feels like genuinely interacting with other Sonic fan sites more than any other. The Sonic Stadium has seen many things, Sonic's highs, Sonic lows, very many lows. A bunch of people that come and go, and even Dreadknux, who made this site as a passion project when he was 15, grow up to be a big figure in a Sonic fandom. Oh, thanks. I hope this site goes on to document more amazing things for many more years to come. Happy birthday, Sonic Stadium. Oh, that's a really, really nice message. Thank you, Maple. And I really like that picture too. And not just because it's of my character. I'm serving. Look there, like, and also serving cake clearly. So that's very very cool. Where are we here? Ah, here we go. Poke Anime Mats. What did he say in the chat? Feel free. Okay, I did make a 30-second one too, so feel free to skim or skip the 17 minutes. So this is Poke Anime Matt's video, a short and sweet birthday message from Poke Anime Matt alongside a bonus ramble. Do you know what? Now that I think about it, I hope the audio comes out on here. I don't know if I've actually. Let me just see. It would be funny after all this time, after all this build up. Let me just see if I can.
Surprise!
Happy birthday, Sonic Stadium!
Can you hear that? I can hear it, but that's because it's on my computer. So if you can't hear it, chat, tell me because I need to fix something. But I will wait for you guys to let me know if you heard that at all. I figured. Poke Anime Matt, I can hear myself. Am I going mad? So I'm guessing it's working then. Shall I play it again? I'll play it again, I guess. Let's see. BG music. Alright. Let's play it again. Right, so this is the 20-second version of Poke Anime Matt's video. Let's see.
Surprise!
Happy birthday, Sonic Stadium! 25 years, happy birthday. Many wishes from Poke Anime Matt and Sonic.
Hey Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
that's brilliant. Yeah, thanks Poke Anime Matt. You look almost as happy as me, and I think it's just because we're both British. So that's really great. Hopefully everyone heard that because I thought that was pretty funny. I really did like the really badly cropped the old and the new logos for Sonic Stadium. It's just running around like that. Very very cool. Let me see. The 17-minute video, which is also on this page, is more of a personal video, and the 30-second video is short and sweet. It can never produce a poem. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's play a little bit of the video if you don't mind. Let's see. Video 17 minutes. Okay, right. Well, let's just play.
Hello
it.
everyone, Poke Anime Matt here with a special message for Sonic Stadium. Happy 25th birthday. 25 years. That is quite a feat. I'll try and keep this short and sweet, but knowing me, I'm probably going to ramble on. I do have somewhat some notes.
Don't worry, I feel the same way.
I'm not looking directly at you at the camera. I do apologise. I'm reading my note. I've come and gone from forums over the years. They didn't really last long for me, or I lost interest and touch. But with the Sonic Stadium, I used to get updates all the time, feeds, news feeds, updates on games, etc. And it always take me back to the Sonic Stadium forums. And eventually last year, I signed up. And since last year and signing up, I like to think that I've been fairly active. I've really enjoyed my time with the Sonic Stadium community. I've tried dabbling in most aspects of the stadium. There's that much content and a community to consume. There's a lot to take in. It can be overwhelming, but I have really enjoyed my time here and continue to do so. Some of the memorable moments for me is the 52 games challenge. I participated last year. I think one of the main reasons I decided to sign up was to participate in the game challenge. Not only did it expand my knowledge of a variety of games I potentially would never have played, I managed to finish over 52 games in that year, and already this year, for my second participation in this year's 52 games event, I've already cleared 52 games. It's really pushed me there to get through my backlog. So that's something I do have the stadium to thank for that. The Sega Sonic Radio, as much as I try to listen to it every Friday night, It does hit us at midnight here in the UK, so it's always a late one.
Yeah, so GX, gotta have it earlier, man. Actually, don't have it earlier today because we're gonna run right into Sega Sonic Radio after this. Let's just see. Can I skim some of this? I will read the rest of it after the show. I'll watch the rest of it after the show. I don't even know words anymore. But let's just see. I'm really enjoying
Cinderella,
this these
quite close to
anecdotes
the
though.
end
It's really
there.
cool. Hang on a minute. Did you just mention?
But yeah,
You mentioned Yakuza
that was kind
in
of
my
put in there
presence.
for not only my sake, but for her sake there. So when we were listening to Sonic Musical Spectacular, and we were trying to stick to it live, we watched the first part live, minus 1 hour, I think, and then part two we split up over a number of days. But we eventually got to 24 Hour Cinderella, quite close to the
Yes.
end there.
Isn't 24 Hour Cinderella?
But yeah,
That's a Yakuza song, right? Or am I misremembering? I'm not really much of a Yakuza fan now, if I'm asking that question, am I? So, yeah, never mind. Yeah, do you know what? Sonic Music Spectacular, one of the things that, Ryan, who, posted earlier, one of the entries, is responsible for with a team of guys at the SSMB, helps make that event come together. Really good thing. Really good event, and it's it really pulls people together. I think in a similar way to the 52 game challenge does as well. So that's really cool. Sega Sonic Radio as well. It's really cool that even as a Brit you try and tune in, even though it's like, you know, the middle of the night on a Friday where probably everyone's out boozing or something. But not convenient. But you know what? It's I just love the fact that GX took that the mantle of that and revived the whole brand. Because it's a great brand, and Sega Sonic Radio is great. I just got a lot of love for it. I just don't have the time anymore. So it's great that someone like GX is dedicated enough to taking that on board and bringing that forward. So long live Sega Sonic Radio and long may it continue. Ironically, the next one to happen is after this show, and it's going to be about Halloween instead of our 25th anniversary. So I'm not bitter about that, but it's all good. I'm only joking. Let's skim a bit more and see if there's other things to mention.
put all the money in that I could muster for the all the goodies, all the meet and greets, and yeah, it was really great. Got the T-shirt that I'm wearing now that you can't see. But
Hey, Summer of Sonic
Summer of
mentioned.
Sonic 2016. So got the T-shirt, which I must have picked the right size because it still fits. It still fits. Um, but that was a really great event. Was that when going through the image gallery on the Sonic Stadium's 25 years, um, the header banners and the advertisement banners, the
Yeah.
archive there, they are something that is very nostalgic because back when I was going on visiting forums and web comics, this is all you would see. DeviantArt would be full of them. I made the odd one myself very very poorly, but there's just some sort of charm about them, especially when some of them.
Yeah, totally. You're referring to some of the header banners that not only like I've made header banners every 5 minutes back in the day, but we had a couple of contests where I think some of the community made some as well. We did one of those in 2010, and again in 20. I want to say 2015 or 2016. Anyway, we've done it a couple of times, and it's really cool to see like people's creativity come through, especially when you give them a blank canvas and say, "Hey, this is going to represent the site you go to. Do you want to do something?" So yeah, I might do that again at some point. But the problem we have is modern web design isn't really built for like big header banners anymore. It's all about little icons and stuff like that. So I I'm trying to figure out what we can do that might involve the community on that. Maybe it's Sonic Stadium logo with like a little character next to it or something, and we just like open the floor and say like draw a character that goes next to the logo or something. But yeah, let's just skip to the last couple of minutes and get the roundup here.
We're closing off there with Chuckle Stadium. But
Oh my god! So let's just pause that there. So, if you're a fan of the Sonic Stadium over the last 25 years, you'll know that I'm a big fan of April Fool's Day. I love doing it. I don't like, tricking people maliciously. I just like having a bit of fun. And, we do stuff that's most of the time really obvious, or something that's not obvious until you actually start like reading the article, and then it's just like, it's just really silly. Like, a couple of years ago I did a story about Sonic 2 movie when that came out, because it came out in the UK on April the 1st and it came out in the US about a week later, and I thought I could do something really mean here and just like say something that's like plausibly like valid and pretend it's a leak or something, because a lot of people are doing that online as well, and it was a bit shitty. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play on the Britishness of the whole thing, and I did a story where it was like the UK version of Sonic 2 has like all of this like original content that will never be seen anywhere else, and I basically just photoshopped like the Queen in like the wedding scene, and I I changed the model of the Knuckles in the movie to like a red London phone box and stuff like that. So it's just silly, stupid things. And the Chuckle Stadium was one of those things. I completely changed the entire site to a kids comedy duo from the 1990s called the Chuckle Brothers, and yeah, I just called it Chuckle Stadium. I can't do that again because one of them's dead now, and I'd feel really bad. But back then, it was really funny to me, to you, and yeah, I can't remember if that was the same year that everyone on the forum just started like renaming themselves to me. So everyone was Dreadknux running around saying to me, to you, or someone was Barry. I think it was either me or Barry Chuckle. People were trying to be. It was really weird, really strange time. But yeah, I don't think it's working anymore because since the V20 upgrade, I think it's kind of knackered it. But this year we did an April Fool's Day gag of Sonic crosswords, and yeah, that got coverage on gaming websites because people were like, "This is actually a great idea." And I built a whole thing with a proper crossword in it and everything, and it was a Sonic crossword. It was really stupid and simple, but Anyway, thank you for mentioning Chuckle Stadium. That's a good memory hit.
Yeah. Again, to apologise to repeat myself, but again, Sonic Stadium, happy 25th birthday. Here's to 25 more years. I really look forward to and hope to engage in you all some more in the forums and
more years.
Discords and the live chats. But
maybe
the Sonic Stadium is certainly somewhere I can call an internet home for myself. It's a great community and place to be. So keep it live, keep it running. Pardon the pun. But yeah, happy 25th birthday.
Yay! Thank you, Poke Enemy Matt. That's great. Sorry I had to skip most of it. Like just for brevity, had to make sure that we got the key points in. But that was really cool. I really enjoyed watching that. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next entry. So I don't know what this is. Ratchet25 Tex has posted, I think it's oh my goodness, I think it's a piece of fan art involving Dreadknux. Let's see. Oh, I wish they put paragraphs in this. This is gonna be hard to read. Right, happy 25th anniversary to the Sonic Stadium. Thanks for you being the best news source for the past 25 years. Alright, it's time to finally squash this mystery. What is the Digiverse? A voice said. It was Dreadknux the Echidna, journalist of the Sonic Stadium. I love it already. The Sonic Stadium is a news and forum site for everything going around Sonic's Digiverse. A couple of users pointed out something about the Digiverse. Dreadknux decided to figure out what this mystery was. I've heard of the stories of the Data Masters. Is this Digimon? Is this what this is? Apparently Sonic and a few of his friends are in it. If I can find them here, it'd be legendary, Dreadknux said. He began to ask a few questions about the Digiverse to a few of the locals. After writing the information he gathered, he decided to ask one more local to answer some questions about the Data Masters. Excuse me, you wouldn't mind me asking a few questions about the Data Masters, would you? That's definitely something I would say. The local turned around, revealing himself as the Phantom Rider, also known as Sonic the Hedgehog. Wait, Sonic? Like Sonic the Hedgehog? Dreadknux said. The one and only. Wait, you look familiar. Ah, you're Dreadknux, from the Sonic Stadium, correct? Tails and I keep tabs on it every now and then, Sonic said. No way, I'm pretty glad to... I don't know why I'm doing an American accent for myself. No way, I'm pretty glad to hear you guys use it. What brings you here to the Digiverse Plaza anyways? Dreadknux asked Sonic. Taking a break. Just got back from crashing a forced wedding. Trying to enjoy some... Is that a Sonic 2 reference? Trying to enjoy some Chaos Cola. And since I'm a hero here, I can get you a cola absolutely free, Sonic said, snapping his finger for another Chaos Cola. The Metabots served Sonic another Chaos Cola. Thank you, Alfred. Now anyways, what brings you here to the Digiverse? Sonic asked Dreadknux. Well, as you can see, a few of the users here have been wondering about this place. A few of the other developers of the stadium were also questioning about its existence as well. I came to see it for myself. Turns out, it's legit. My biggest concern with it is how there is gravity here, but the terrain just magically floats. There's no Master Emerald here at all, Dreadknux said. Yeah, to be quite honest with you, I never found out myself. Perhaps we can visit the other Data Masters to find out more about it, Sonic said. That'd be amazing, Dreadknux said. Sonic called Tails, asking him for his help. Tails arrived as quickly as he could. What's the issue, Sonic? Tails asked. Ah, just in time, Tails. I have someone you most definitely would want to meet. He's been keeping track of our adventures since the whole Arc incident, Sonic said, introducing Tails to Dreadknux. Whoa, he is the Dreadknux. What is he? Wait, huh? Whoa, is he the Dreadknux? It's an honor to meet you, Tails said, shaking Dreadknux's hand. Pleasure's all mine, Mr. Prower. Dreadknux smiled. This is just who I am now. I do have a question about why the terrain can float magically while people are affected by gravity, Dreadknux said. I actually have been studying that for a while. Built a new lab here that pretty much acts as a headquarters for the Data Masters. I can take you to there and we can figure out the mystery if you want. No, wait, Tails says that. I can take you to there and we can figure out the mystery if you want, Tails said. I'd love to do that, Dreadknux said eagerly. The three ventured off to Tails' Digiverse lab. Unfortunately, when they arrived, Metabots were raiding his lab. Above the lab was a pirate ship. What is Turk doing here? Tails asked. Whatever it is, it can't be good, Sonic said. Wait, who's Turk? Dreadknux asked. Turk's a pirate jerk. Oh, that rhymes. Turk's a pirate jerk who switches sides like underwear. Oh, that's Sonic said that. Turk's a pirate jerk who switches sides like underwear, Sonic said. I see. Rather complicated fellow, eh? Dreadknux said. Indeed, I can get the tornado up there and we can board the ship, Tails said. Three raced to the tornado. Wait, this doesn't have an extra seat, Dreadknux said. Yeah, since you're our special guest, you can choose a wing, Sonic said, getting on top of the tornado. Wait, you guys serious? Dreadknux said. Yep, hop aboard, Sonic shouted. Dreadknux grabbed a wing and the tornado took off. As he took off to the skies, he noticed someone on top of the ship. It was Turk, who was tied up. Wait, what? Sonic said, confused all of the situation. Well, that's a plot twist if I ever did see one, Dreadknux said. I'm getting confused about my voices. Sonic jumped off the plane and untied Turk. Took you lads long enough. Seems me crew is under some kind of virus, Turk said. So you weren't here to steal anything from Tails' lab? Sonic asked. No, you numbskull. I didn't know about his lab at all. Even if I did, I don't care about tech other than me crew, Turk said. Tails, seems we have a situation. Turk actually doesn't want to steal any of your things, but the bots have some kind of virus in the system again, Sonic said. Really? I thought Tex fixed that. Apparently he didn't. Looks like we'll have to bash it in these tin cans, Sonic said. Hang tight, I'll land and get us up there, Tails said. Sonic and Turk jumped around from the balcony and began to attack the bots. Avast, you VLDC rats, Turk shouted. He threw his phantom sword, skewering 5 Metabots. Whoa, we're not trying to kill them, Sonic said. You have your motives and I have my own, Turk said, pulling out the sword and using it as a pick for his teeth. Sonic rolled his eyes. Tails and Dreadknux arrived to the battle. Hey Dread, you know how to spin dash? Sonic asked Dreadknux. Yeah, I was self-taught, but I learned from the best, Dreadknux said. The two spin dashed to Metabots while Tails ran some tests on them. Aha, that's what it is. It was a semicolon within their program. It was supposed to be a colon instead, Tails said. Oh, Tails. He pressed a button on his new wrist device, opening a Metabot command center. He fixed the issue and the Metabots were back to normal. The 3 decided to go 265. Hey, guys, what's all this? Also, Mr. Dreadknux, he needs to ask you a question, Sonic said. Hello, nice to meet you. I run a news and forum site called the Sonic Stadium, Dreadknux said. Wait, for real? You're that Dreadknux? Huge fan, Tex said. Glad you are. I'm going to say that at SonicCon. Glad you are. Now, do you mind answering this question? How does the terrain in a Digiverse stay afloat while we're pulled by gravity? Dreadknux asked. Well, to answer that, the Rebirth Gem and the power of the Rebirth Run Zone are the key. I don't know how they do so exactly, but that's how it pretty much works, Tex said. Dreadknux wrote it down. Thank you, Mr. Tex. It was a pleasure having an adventure with you guys. I feel honoured, Dreadknux said. No, we feel honoured. Thank you for the hard work you and your team put on the site. You guys are absolutely amazing. Don't ever stop giving up. And your community on that site is amazing as well. I hope to see you around, Mr. Dread, Sonic said. Dreadknux smiled and waved goodbye, heading back to the Green Hills Digiverse Rift. That was a great story, and it featured me, which was very strange reading that. But it was great. Very, very imaginative. So, you know, I don't know if that was part of the contest, but I read it all the same, because sometimes it's just nice to read little fan fiction. Now, this piece from Sage, I feel conflicted, because it's really, really, really good. I really, really like it. If you need any kind of explanation, it's Amy Rose looking at a very 1990s computer on a very 1990s Sonic Stadium website, and there's little figures of my character Dreadknux and my brother's character Rory Black, who, this is a deep cut. He used to run a website on the TSS network called the Sonic Spriters Network, and it was dedicated to giving tutorials on people in fandom who would want to try their hand at sprite artwork. And there were some really good tutorials in there, some really good editorials as well in there. But yeah, it's great that Sage remembered that. So that's really, really cool. That would be really, really high up on my list. But there's one small problem. Sage won the contest on my birthday back in June, and I still need to send out the prizes for that to them. So they haven't got back to me as to how I'm actually going to get those prizes over. So I don't want Sage to be winning prizes that I can't give out, right? So yes, you're going to go up high on the list, but I think you need to just, I need someone to promise me that they'll give me like something that let me send a prize to them, because otherwise there's no point winning a contest if you can't win a prize. So that's all I have to say on that. Happy 25th anniversary to the Sonic Stadium. Ratchet 25 Tex again. It's just a very, very sweet thank you message. So we don't have to count that in a contest. Long time with the Sonic fandom, Polk Caddy. So Polk is, as you may or may not know, an old head at the Sonic Stadium. They're actually behind a lot of the stuff on the Sonic Musical Spectacular event that we do every year. And yeah, as they say, they're a 2D animator by trade. They possess skills in music and other creative talents. Ever since 2013, I've been with the Sonic Stadium, marking 12 out of the 25 years. I do not think I would be everything I am today without having grown up alongside this site, as I was a child when I joined, and I write to you today as an adult making a living in the world. Do you know what? As someone who also is an adult making a living in the world, it's very hard to maintain a site like this these days in your spare time, so I feel you. I was going to draw up artwork or even animate something to commemorate the 25 years, but I've been busy, then recently sick. That's fine, mate. That's all good. I appreciate you taking the time to even write this. And then there's a few memories. One of them about the 2014 server wipe. A lot of people seem to remember this when they're talking about their fond memories about the site. Oh, I remember when the server crapped up and we lost all that data. Thanks, guys. The first major event I can remember was the announcement of Sonic Boom. Oh, that was a time, wasn't it? I remember being cautiously optimistic while being as confused as others at the time were, but I think we understand in full now that it was a very bad time for the series, regardless of the quality of the games. Yeah. Funny enough, when the series aired, one episode aired in my country first, unlike America. Cartoon Network in Australia aired them randomly. I was able to share that with others here. I was ever positive, even during this dark period. Do you know what? I have something to confess, right? I should confess something, right? You know, a lot of people have been thanking me for like being this studiously like on top of the community for like 25 years solid, but the truth is there was a period of time where I basically just noped out because I wanted to live a life. And I think the Sonic that was during the Sonic Boom years, right, where Sonic Boom was announced, and then it wasn't like actively or anything like that. Sonic Lost World was the last thing I kind of paid attention to, and that was a bit of a dud for various reasons. And then Sonic Boom happened, and I was just like, well, nope, don't think so. And I think Knuckles87, I think, actually wrote the review for that on the site. And yeah, I I feel like I basically checked out for most of the years during that, up until Sonic Mania was announced. That was kind of when I came back and was like, oh, hello, remember me? But I think everyone else had the same feeling, funny enough. So I don't think anyone really noticed I was gone. But I should say that when people say like Sonic Boom was the dark years and stuff, I hear you, right? So like I feel like that, you know, it encouraged. It was a period of time that encouraged apathy, which is kind of not something you want to say about a series about a character that's so energetic, you know. But still, Polk was a beaming optimist, talking about their passion for Sonic. Hosted a sing along for a Ghost Pumpkin Soup. They wanted to encourage that love of Sonic again. You've got to check out that Ghost Pumpkin Soup thing, because it's on our Sonic Stadium gallery and it's incredibly bad. I'm pretty sure I'm on it, but I'm not credited. I can hear my voice in it, but it's great. It's like about 30 people all screeching a Ghost Pumpkin Soup out at the same time. One of my more favourite, fondest memories about SSMB, really, and the community stuff we've done together. Polk also talks about one of the popular role-playing groups in the clubs at the moment, Skylanders Academy, all the friends that they've met there, and then Motobug, which is kind of a semi-official Sonic Stadium thing. It's like a live video thing. I don't really have much to do with it, but it's because Ryan, one of the staffers, is involved. It's kind of semi-official, and we kind of put some stuff on there at the same time as our YouTube channel at times. So, yeah. To that end, made a blog here to write more about Sega-related things. Tried to become a site writer, then stopped when I held myself to a high standard that I couldn't write anything. I know that feeling. Had a dog that I grew up with after... Oh, wow. A dog sadly passed away in 2019. I'm really sorry to hear that. Leaving me so utterly devastated, I struggle to continue writing now. But the forum has a feature you can win the day by having the most liked content of that given day. Same day my dog passed, I'd won the day. Hopefully not for that. Planting a badge on my profile with the date of my win. I did not want this win to open my profile and see that date, remembering the day my beloved dog died. It really hurt my grief-stricken heart when I eventually noticed it, because I had no idea how long it would take before I would wipe it away. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Indigo Rush, one of the members, was a staffer on the site. He noticed my grief, shared a post of mine where I gushed about Daytona USA. He advocated for people to read that post and give it a like. All you guys banded together to help wipe away that grief. As far as I'm concerned, everyone had won the day. It was an incredible act of kindness, and I'm now on the verge of tears, wishing I could repay it. I know I really don't have to, it's just too much to bear. Now I want to work harder, spread more of this love that this site has shown me over the 12 years I've been here. That's really nice. That's really nice. Oh, that's really nice. That goes high on my list. Right, let me see what we got here. Let's do a spot check. So we've got maple syrup stuff is quite high up on my list of estimations. Polcati. We've got this from Drawn Till Dawn. This piece from Shareholders the Hedgehog, Stonks. Poem is pretty good. The poem from Shiny Gems. Yeah, so I think, and the video from Matt is also, I think, high up on my list. So let's put that in this order. Let's close that. Close that one. Close that one. Close that one. And close that one. Here we go. Right, so we've got a short list so far. I think that's everything on the website. So let's check out X. Let's see. Hang on, did I even... I thought I had a tab open with this. There we go. Oh, someone's messaged me. I will not check that out. Not while I'm live. So, let's see. So most of these posts on the stadium stuff is is stuff that I've posted. So it's kind of weird. Right. Daryl Hine. Oh, there we go. So that's why we wanted to get there. Because he's in the chat right now. Hi. This is my entry. A pic from a Sonic story in Archie Sonic the Hedgehog 57 with a caption of my own at the bottom. Excuse me while I take a drink, because I've been talking for like 3 hours. Right, okay. Back in the room. Sonic, at least for the 25th anniversary of Sonic Stadium, my wish is for IDW to do a Sonic Satam Saturday Morning Adventures comic book series. That's very cool. It's a wish I think we all have. Actually, I think it's that's a solid wish. So well done, Daryl. That's thank you for contributing and participating. I think that's amazing. Let's just scroll down and see who else has been contributing. Drawn Till Dawn posted this also on Twitter, so we've got that. And here we go. Another poem from Bryce the Best. Let's give it a go. Community and a Stadium 25. A blue blur runs so fast that nobody can keep up, except for the ones who dream to give him a fist bump. The fans, of course. The community can't keep their feet on the ground because just the music says gravity can't hold us now. The artists, the streamers, the 3D modelers, the YouTubers, the VTubers, the voice actors, the modders, and even the reporters. There's a place for everyone, a rich community full of creativity with endless possibility. I know a cool place to find all of this, the news and forums podium. If you love Sonic, you love the Sonic Stadium. Happy 25th anniversary, Sonic Stadium. Thank you for that, Bryce. That's a great little poem. I love it. I effing love it. And I think that's it for the X shared posts. And for some reason, we got posts from 2017 from J-Dog Smooth. Yeah. Smooth as silk. So, let me just check and see if anyone on Blue Sky has posted anything with this tag. So, we got Drawn Till Dawn again. Clearly trying to go for the bag there. Let's see. I think this is it on here as well. Oh no, actually, look, maple syrup posted on there too. Great. But yeah, it's the same thing. All right. So I think, if I'm being honest, I think we've got the measure of everything. The rules did stipulate that you needed to have a Sonic Stadium account and you needed to post with the hashtag. Otherwise, I will not be able to see it. So if I have missed your entry in any way, I do apologise, but you were given clear instructions. So, let's tot this up live style. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, the top prize winner is out of these two. I have to say. So, it's either Drawn Till Dawn or shareholders with their mosaic. I am very torn. I'm very torn. One is a fantastic art piece that I just can't wrap my head around. It's brilliant, and the other one is just a mosaic that has so much effort put into it. Like some real creativity has gone into it. So it's really tough. I don't really want to do eeny meeny miny mo, so I'm just going to say my heart goes with this post by Drawn Till Dawn. I think Drawn Till Dawn's got it. I'm sorry. Congratulations, Drawn Till Dawn. If I had any of those little like doodads for Twitch where you can press the button and it goes brr, 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 I would just have pressed that. But let's see what you've won. You get one of these. Let's put it over there. In box. You get an acrylic thingy. Woo! Good job. You get a shadow pin set. And you get a pen. Good pen. And we get also a clear file folder. So 1 and 2. At some point, when I actually start doing Twitch streams properly again, I will sort out lighting so none of this actually appears to be like naff. But yes, congratulations. That is winner 1, which also means that winner 2 is... Where is it? I've lost it now. It's got to be this one by Shareholders the Hedgehog. So well done to you. You get a second place prize. And second place prize is one of these pens. One of these pens. You get one of these pin badges. Shadow the Hedgehog. Ooh. I have knocked the microphone over. One of these coasters. One of these coasters. And one of these clear files. One of these clear files. Good job. Well done. Excellent. So that's 2 prizes out of 5. Let's keep things rolling. If you guys have any input in the chat, love to hear it. I think I'm going to go with my gut otherwise. Let's have a look. Let's see what's left. We've got Polkadi's really heartfelt story about the community banding together to help him overcome some grief. That's really heartfelt. I love that story. We've got Maple Syrup's story with artwork. I don't know if that's technically allowed because that's technically 2 entries, so I don't know if we're like, should we qualify that? I don't know. We've got Poke Enemy Matt. What is this thumbnail, by the way? What is going on there? I'm just gonna click over there. Like Christ. We've got Shiny Gems with a poem. We've got this from Sage. I really want to give you a prize. Do you know what? I think it's got to be. It's got to be Maple Syrup. Sorry, it's got to be Maple Syrup for the 3rd prize. So and it's mostly because of this, right? It's mostly because of this. So for that, you win one of these. Whee! You win one of these. Whee! And you win one of these. Way, very good. So, what else have we got here? We've got 2 more prizes left. Hold on. Yes, I thought I counted things wrong. I'm doing this all right now. Right. Let's see. I think the 4th prize does really have to go to. It's hard. It's getting hard now. It's getting hard because there's some really good stuff. There's poems, there's videos, there's artworks, there's Twitter pages that I've got open for some reason. Lot going on. Yeah, we've got. So these are the ones that are left. I think honestly, it's got to be. I think it goes to Poke Anime Matt for the 4th prize. So well done, Poke Anime Matt. Brr, brr, brr. Here's your prize. You get a coaster. Whee, coaster. And you get a clear file folder set, which has 1 and it has 2. So good work. Well done. That's on its way to you at some point once I have your details. And finally, 5th prize gets you a coaster. So let's see who wins this one then, eh? We've got... Where are we? We've got Sage with this really cool artwork. We've got Shiny Gems with this poem. We've got Polk with this heartfelt story. We've got Bryce with a poem that's really awesome. And we've got Daryl with this really cool quote that he made up. So let's see. I don't know. It's a toss up between, if I'm being honest, Polk and Sage. So Pokemon Matt says, what about Mike the Hedgehog? What about Mike the Hedgehog? Who is Mike the Hedgehog? I don't. Have I missed an entry? Or what? What's going on? Pretty sure I've got them all. So I'm just going to keep going. And hopefully I won't have to backtrack and realise I've forgotten someone. Hold on, let me just... That's the back end for Sonic Stadium. You shouldn't be seeing that. Let me just find out the TikTok video. Oh, yes! The TikTok video. Derp, derp, derp. That's right. Thank you so much for reminding me. Let me just pull that up again. Where's it going? Where's it gone? Yeah. Do you know what? I think we can all. You guys can watch the video later because again, I don't want to like put it on in case there's like no consent there. Actually, that's a really good point. That was that was actually on my radar, so I think that needs to that's getting the 5th prize. So thank you for bringing that back up. Sonic Speedster, you get this coaster. Woo! There we go. So that's all the prizes. Hooray! But don't worry, if you are feeling a little bit bummed that you didn't get anything, hold that phone because I did a little trip a few months ago. Oh, goodness me. Big bag. I went to Gamescom a few months ago and I picked up some stuff. So we're going to be doing another contest very soon on the Sonic Stadium website. I picked up some bits. I've got a cool little bag. Actually, I've got 2 of them. So I've got 2 of them I can give away. And we've got some of these bag clips. Sonic-y bag clips. And do you know what else I haven't given out yet? Which I've been meaning to do for ages. These cool little numbers from the McLaren Sonic partnership. Why am I holding them so weird? Look at these. You can get one of those for yourself. We will be doing a contest on the Sonic Stadium very soon for all of these things. But for now, let's be happy that we had a fun time. So congratulations to all the winners. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much. Thank you, like, for taking the time to just even talk about the Sonic Stadium. Like, it means a lot to me that it means a lot to you. So thank you very much for just for being there and for coming back. And you know, sometimes working on a site, especially in the age of social media, where you know people can post things online and it will get like 100,000 likes, and then you post a news story on Sonic Stadium and it gets like 10 views or something in a day, and you're like, it's not really about that, but sometimes you're just like, what's the point, right? If no one's watching or reading my stuff, what is the point of it all? But hearing people come together and saying, no guys, you're awesome, I like what you do and everything, it's a good morale boost, and it's a big chunk of my life. If I'm being brutally honest, you kind of hope that you've impacted and touched someone's life to some degree, when you spend that much time on stuff. So, let's. It means a lot. It really does. So thank you all for sticking with us over the years, and for being just generally like amazing people. It does mean a lot. So I hope to keep doing this for well, I don't know if I'd do it for another 25 years, let me put it that way, but I would definitely do the Sonic Stadium for as long as I possibly can, because it's a hobby. I started it off as a hobby, it will continue to be a hobby, so as long as I still have some drive, and as long as Sega still keep making games and movies that are pretty awesome, then I'll still continue to have hype for the Hedgehog, and and I'll always be there to try and help bring like a space for people to discuss that, So we're gonna keep going for another half an hour until GX jumps on and does his thing. There's really 2 things we could do here now, guys. I'll open it up to the floor. We've got I could do a story time. I could do some stories. I've got like a couple of stories lined up where I can just talk about some. I've got pictures basically from yesteryear of things I've done, things that have happened, and if you want to hear some of that stuff, I can talk about that. If not, I'll happily talk about it at SonicCon instead. I probably might even still talk about it at SonicCon anyway, if I'm being brutally honest. Or I can play a video game. And what that video game is going to be a complete mystery to you. It's not a mystery to me. I have it lined up. Well, hopefully lined up. I've got the console lined up. But yeah, so it's up to you guys. I'm gonna give you a moment to think and deliberate. But pardon me. Do you like this, by the way? This whole thing is an insert coin, which is a brand. If you don't know, they've been going for 15 years now. This year, their anniversary was in July. They've been going for 15 years, and they are a brand close to my heart because they're from my hometown of Southend-on-Sea. So when they got established, they were living pretty much right around the corner, actually down the town and around the corner, originally from where I actually lived, where my family house is. So I love Insert Coin, and they haven't done Sonic stuff for a long time. And this year they brought out some really, really cool stuff. They brought out a Sonic and Knuckles hoodie, which is my absolute favourite thing in the world. There's a huge logo on the back of this, but it's amazing. I will not turn around and show you. So, okay, so we got one vote for story time. So, I'll probably do story time. Maybe I'll do one, maybe one or two story times, and then we can do. So, I don't know. The problem is I'm cack at games. Even Sonic ones, right? I keep thinking to myself, do I do like a stream where I regularly play Sonic Racing Crossworlds now that that's a thing? And I might still do that. I should actually hop on that whole streaming train and just do more of this, but you know, I'm cackabad, right? when I play these games, it's like, you know, it's like a dog holding a controller. I'm like, ugh. And yeah, no, yes, I can still play and complete these games enough to actually provide a proper verdict for you guys in the form of Sonic Stadium reviews. So please do not worry about that. Right, if I'm doing story time, I'm going to organise a few of these. So let's see. That one first, that one, then that one, and that one, and that one, I guess. Should we do story time? Let's do story time. I'll be really quick about these anyway because I don't really. I'm running out of voice, I guess. So here we go. Here's story number one. This was 2005. I basically was Sonic for an evening. A very special evening. Back in 2005, did you know that mobile games were actually a thing in 2005? Before the iPhone, some 5 years before the actual iPhone came out, there were mobile phone games, and they existed. It was all on this service called WAP, and they were pretty crap, but WAP is what they were. And they were very rudimentary, and I didn't know this at the time, but Sega were pretty... well, Sega West, I should say, like Sega Europe, they were pretty in on the whole mobile games thing. One of the big mobile phone companies at the time was Nokia, or if you're American, Nokia, I don't know, or Finnish. They're a Finnish company, but they were huge in the UK, and so Nokia were always pushing that tech forward. They were like the BlackBerry before iPhone, right? Like, so before iPhone came out in Europe, it was all about Nokia this, Nokia that, and they were pushing forward all the internet stuff, mobile internet stuff, and WAP gaming was part of that. And Sega was trying to get on the cutting edge of that, getting at the forefront of that, and being in front of that as much as possible because they were not long being a third-party company. So it stood to reason that they would be the key sponsor for an industry awards show called... I can't remember what it's called now. What's that image say? No. I can't see it from here. I think it was just Mobile Game Awards, or Mobile... No, it wasn't Mobile Choice. It was called something else. Mobile something awards. Digital Mobile Awards. Whatever. It was a mobile show. And it was not on my radar at all, right? Sega sponsors a lot of things. Sega's partners of a lot of things, and I'm not across all of that stuff. Even back in 2005, where I didn't have a job, right? So, and I was in uni and college or whatever. Not some 5 or 6 months maybe after I had just introduced myself to the then brand new Sega Europe community manager at the brand new Sega community management team, First time any company had done anything like that or whatever. I'd been on emailing terms with the community manager at Sega Europe, and it was here and there. He'd email me press releases and some cool images to share on Sonic Stadium, and I'd do that. And then one day, randomly out of the blue, he calls me up and like on the phone, and I'm a millennial who doesn't like talking on the phone. I like text messages, so I'm immediately looking at my phone going, I pick up the phone and he's like, "Oh, hi, Sven. Like, I need you to, do you live in London?" I'm like, "No, I live in Essex, which is about 2 hours out from London. So to get there is an effort. Why?" "Oh, we're doing this mobile awards show tonight. We're one of the sponsors, and we have a Sonic there." "Oh, okay, cool." I was like thinking, do you want me to cover this or something? Because honestly, not my jam. Like, it's no point going all this way out for nothing. So no, we have a problem. The guy who's going to be Sonic, he's fallen ill, and he said, "Look, I know this is a bit of a, crossing the line thing because you want to be a journalist, and well, I was a journalist, not want to be a journalist." He's like, journalistically, this might be a bit of a weird one, but would you be up for doing the job instead? I was like, "What? I'm not a performer. I'm not one of these things." He's like, "Well, all you have to do is get in a costume and walk on stage a bit, and then that's it." And initially I said no. I was like, "Dude, sorry, but that's a bit of a step too far for me. Like, I'm quite happy working with Sega on things, but this is a bit much." And he understood. He totally understood, and he was like, "Oh, okay, sorry, mate. Never mind. Sorry for bothering you." Hung up. And I thought about it for about 10 minutes, and I thought, you know what? When might this ever happen again? It would be a stupid, silly little thing, and why not, eh? Might be a bit of fun. So I called him back, and I actually said, "Do you know what? How soon do you need me?" And I went there, and I dressed up, and it was silly and dumb and a lot of fun. And I went there, literally, that was the job. I went there, dressed up as Sonic. The head was the worst part. As you can tell, I wear glasses. I had to take those off to get the head on. So even before I got in the suit, I was blind. And to get the head on, you had to put it on sideways. So the spikes were this way, horizontal. And you had to put your head in that way and then twist it to lock it in. And the eyes were like, obviously it's like foam mesh, so it's hard to see out of anyway. But the head is so far in front of your face, so trying to look in anywhere is an effort, especially if you wear glasses. So it was hard for me to even get around, and I was hobbling around the entire place, needing an escort half the time. Someone was like holding my hand, just kind of going, "Here you go, Grandpa Sonic," up the stairs. Like, hardly the image of energetic, like, "Yo, I'm Sonic." It was just more like a it did not help that the stage was narrow as anything. It was like so narrow, and Sonic's feet in that thing is like so big, like it's really wide. So it's like walking with like, frying pans tied to your feet. It was like, what the heck? And if you're British and old like me, you might recognize the face at that podium in that picture. It's a very relatively young Marcus Brigstock, who is a British comedian. So not only did I get in a suit willingly, dressed up as Sonic willingly, and have to make myself blind for it and hobbled up and down and stuff, I got absolutely rinsed by Marcus Brigstock while that was happening. So yeah, kind of a lane to fame really for me on that one. Yeah, Pokeanime Matt says, "Did they say to you you're too slow?" No, nobody said that to me, because they were actually like adult human beings, and they they're not cool and nerdy like us. So yeah, so that's the end of that story. That time I was basically Sonic the Hedgehog. It was very fun and very weird time. Let's see, what's the next story? I'll line this up. All right. Yeah, this one's not so like extravagant. I mean, it is extravagant in terms of where I went. But this is a picture of me with possibly the best looking Sonic costume I've ever seen in my life, and I wasn't in it this time, thankfully. That wasn't a picture of me just before, moments before I get into the thing. The guy that's, or person, I don't know who it was, in that suit did a fantastic job. They were like really full into it. They were like dancing and stuff, and they were pointing at people, and they were going, "Oh yeah, I'm Sonic." But that was in Japan, and the reason I'm sharing that picture is because it was one of my first trips to Japan. I went, actually, do you know what? The first time I went to Japan was 20 years ago now, like in 2005. Actually, around about this time, I went for a week, and I absolutely loved it. I became a huge Japanophile right there and then, and I wanted to go back as quickly as possible. And 2 years from that point, in 2007, I was lucky enough to be able to go there again. I went with my brother, and I went with a friend, and we went to Tokyo Game Show, and I covered that for some work purposes as well while I was there on a freelance basis. And yeah, I just had a great time. It was brilliant. And Sonic Rush Adventure was just about to come out in Japan, and so I basically played that game before it ever came out anywhere. And so I think I wrote a preview for it on TSS at the time as part of my report from Japan. And yeah, people loved it at the time. We got a lot of good comments on it, and a lot of good vibes. And again, it also helped that Sonic Rush Adventure was actually a pretty bloody good game. But that show was also notable because that was when they announced or showcased the Knights sequel on the Wii. Knight's Journey of Dreams, I think it was called. And it was also when I was introduced to one of my favourite but not kind of low-key Sega games, Valkyria Chronicles. It wasn't called that at the time because obviously Japanese name. Was called something else, something Valkyria or whatever. But Valkyria Chronicles it was, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was about, because I couldn't understand really the language or anything that was going on in the cutscenes. But I really dug the vibe. Like, I saw the artwork and I was just in love with it, and I was like, this might be my next favourite Sega game, you know, like, this is great. So yeah, I absolutely love Tokyo Game Show, even though it was a lot of hard work. And I remember doing a couple of back-to-back interviews with Japanese developers for work, and it was me. My brother came along as a photographer, and yeah, there was one, but it was very hot. Like, because these things take place in like August or September, in like a real hot, humid season that Japan has, and it's in the Tokyo Makuhari Messe. So big building, crap ventilation, so you're hot there all day, and then it's hot outside. It's even hotter outside. And I remember there was this one interview I had to do. It wasn't Sega related. It was I actually can't remember what it was for. I think it was for a Korean game. Anyway, some Xbox 360 game. Anyway, we had to leave the whole Makuhari Messe plaza because the developers weren't there. They were in a hotel room across the way. So I had to cross the road, which was like a hazard in itself. Felt like Jet Set Radio going on there with like loads of cars and like, you know, people on skates and stuff. And then I get into this building. I go up on this fancy building up on the top floor, and then the next thing I know, like, this is really well ventilated hotel like conference room, and it was wonderful feeling. It was like, oh my god, yeah, this aircon's amazing. And we said our hellos and everything and blah 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 with the developers, and sat across the table, almost like a business meeting, like we were lawyers or something, talking to other lawyers. It was weird. And then we said our hellos, and then went, and luckily it wasn't just me in the room. There was it was like a what do you call it? Not a junket. It was like a press pack thing. So there was other games press there too. And the guy was like, right, so we're going to turn the lights down now, and we're going to show you a little bit of this game. Oh my god, like, I almost fell asleep. Not because the game was boring or anything, but because it was like, you go from a really hot place to a really cool ventilated place, and then they turn the lights off and they start playing this thing on a TV screen. You are gonna be KO'd. Like, it's intense. The amount I had to fight just to stay awake. I was like, Pocari, sweat up in this bee. all the time afterwards. I was like, right, I need all the caffeine, all of the minerals and vitamins and stuff. Give me all that in a bottle. It's great. So yeah, Japan, love it. Hopefully one day, when my boy is old enough, we get to go back there and enjoy it. That's really nice. Japan, love it. And also Sonic. This photo is nice. It's me and one of the former Sega Europe community managers, Kevin, also known as Archangel UK. And as you can see, we're sporting a couple of t-shirts, red t-shirts, that have Team Mario on it. This was for I guess you could call it a press event. It wasn't really a press event. It was more of a press entertainment thing. I don't know. But the point of it was to promote Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, the first one. And a couple of weeks after this event, Kevin very kindly invited me and a bunch of other people from other Sonic community sites to go to the Sega office to play Mario and Sonic ahead of release, as part of a community day at the office, which, funny enough, was actually a lot more productive than whatever this day was. This was just a bit of a fun day out for press. But because I was also working as a press, for actual press websites at the time, I got to enjoy both community days and press days. And this was very much a press day, in so far as Sega didn't really care if you played the game or not. And I did play the game at this event as a matter of courtesy, but also I genuinely wanted to play the game. But a lot of the time at this event was spent actually playing a game of a different kind, like a live action real person game. So if you're old enough to remember a show called Gladiators on UK TV, or even if you don't, you must know of a show called Ninja Warrior, or if you're really old and British, which was a lot of the people in this event, because they were referencing this a lot, a show called It's a Knockout, which is like some 70s TV show, and it's basically like, it's like the boomer version of Ninja Warrior, right? Like, so it's a bunch of people that have to do a bunch of challenges. Contestants have to run around in like these foam environments, have to try and dodge things, jump over things and whatever. So Sega had hired out this sports hall, and they had made a Ninja Warrior-esque or It's a Knockout style like challenges, and it was all silly shit, like, oh, you have to run through this course, pick up a ball, run down this slide thing, and then put it in a bucket or whatever. So yeah, that was fun. And then the whole like pull of that event was the original host of that British It's a Knockout TV show was also there to, like, you know, adjudicate this press event. So it was, and Stuart something, I don't know, Stuart Hall, I think, I don't know. Anyway, it was way before my time, so I did not really appreciate it at all. But I did like jumping in a ball pool and having lots of fun. So, you know, and crucially, and almost like disgustingly, this photo is funny for the fact that there was a Team Mario there and there was a Team Sonic, right? So the way they organised it was thus: Team Sonic was mostly Sega employees and a couple of the press people that they liked or something, and in the Team Mario wore red shirts, and they had, well, Nintendo wasn't really there, it was a Sega press event, but it was a bunch of other people, and, you know, people from Nintendo websites and all this other stuff. Because there were too many people, there was a third group, and the third group was Team Tails, and Team Tails didn't have any shirts because it's Mario and Sonic, so the only merch or promo shirts they would have obviously made would have been Mario or Sonic. So to make a Tails group, we had to wear Mario shirts, which was insult number one. I wanted the Sonic shirt, and then I had to wear a stupid yellow wig to denote that I was a Tails team member or something. It was very silly and stupid, but regardless, I had a lot of fun. So it was a good event. Lot of fun was had by all. And God knows when that was. I think it was 2007. I think something like that. Anyway, all good fun. Next story. I like this day. This day was very fun for me. So I haven't really mentioned it at all. Which is kind of weird, really, because it's such a huge part of Sonic Stadium's history and legacy. But one of the things I am obviously most, I guess, famous for is being the creator and organizer of the Summer of Sonic UK fan convention. I adore Summer of Sonic. Like, I love what it's become or had become. I love hosting it all the time. I love organizing it. It is one of my favorite things to do for the community. We haven't had a chance to really do one in the last 10 years. The last proper one was nearly 10 years ago, and the last sort of half one was a gig in 2019 where we were very honoured to host Jun Sonoe and his Sonic Adventure Music Experience, where they did a UK gig there. Was very happy to make that happen. When's 2026? There we go. It was gonna happen. This is why I didn't want to talk about it. So Summer of Sonic 2026. When's 2026? I don't know. It's up to Sega, innit? I suppose. Nothing to say right now, but I do love Summer of Sonic. Let's just put it that way. But these photos are from 2011 version of Summer of Sonic, which was Sonic's 20th anniversary. Yes. No. Yes. Sonic Adventure 2 was his 10th. So Sonic Generations was his 20th. See, this is what happens when you get older. You forget things. And, we were very, very honoured to have Yuji Naka turn up as a special guest. Takashi Iizuka was there. And Sonoe-san was also there. And that's a picture of me and him looking very silly on the DJ Dex post-event. One of my favourite photos, actually. I love Jun so much. He's a great character, and we have lots of fun every time we hang out. But this was one of those events where, even though it was really, really challenging in terms of organisation, because we thought we had a big enough venue, it was a fantastic day despite the challenges. So it opened my eyes up an awful lot. That was a lot of learning experiences happened that day, where beforehand we had done 3 of those before. I think 2008, 2009, 2010. 2010 was pretty big because we had Crush 40 do a gig there for the first time, so I probably should have seen it coming. But up until 2011, and including 2011, we had this policy with tickets where it was like, you know what, not enough people are really going to notice this online. If you're just there on a day and you swing by, if you don't have a ticket, just come in, and if there's room, we'll fit you in. If not, one in, one out system. And that had done us well up until 2011. And 2011 was the hard hitting reality of, hey, maybe don't do that again. Maybe actually ticket it properly next time. And we did in future. Every year we did after that was very ticketed and very we had to limit the tickets and stuff. Because what we found was that there was queues going all the way around the block, and I don't know why I didn't expect that, because we had Yuji Naka there, we had Takashi Iizuka there, we had Jun Sonoe there. I didn't think it was going to be as big purely because Johnny Joeli wasn't able to turn up that year. It was just Jun in terms of music. But I have a lot of fond memories in spite of the challenges, because we had a hall that I thought was big enough. And they said it could fit 1,000 people, and it could not fit anywhere near that amount of people. It was a small community hall. They promised us aircon. There was no aircon. That's a familiar story for anyone who's organised the Summer of Sonic with me. If you ever ask them, they will tell you, almost half the events we were promised aircon, and it never actually happened. So that was another thing. But the resilience of the Sonic fans that turned up was incredible, and I have so many fond memories of that day. I will probably only share 2 of them. One of them was sort of an awkward moment that had turned good, which was the I was very honoured to host a Q&A with Yuji Naka and Takashi Iizuka on stage. I think we did it in 2 pieces. I can't quite remember. It was so hot that day, and it was a long time ago now. But we did an on-stage thing, and someone's mentioned in the chat, thank you for asking them about the red barrel, aka the Skay. Yes, I really wanted to ask both of them the question about who designed that red barrel, because come on, own up to it. And for those of you who don't remember or who weren't there, the answer to the question was very much deferred. So I actually asked the question to Izuka-san, because I said to him, as the designer, one of the level designers for Sonic 3, like, you know, tell us what was going on with that barrel. Like, you know, everybody hates that barrel, and everybody roared in laughter. And this was one of those moments where, you know, I've met Takashi Iizuka a number of times, and I think he's a great guy. I think he's got a great sense of humor. He gets a lot of flack online for saying things, but he's just a joker, man. Like he's got a very goofy sense of humor, and I love him for that. He will play. If you play around with him, he will play. And he really did the whole bit. When I asked him about the red barrel, he was all like, oh, the head in his hands, and oh my god, I can't believe you're asking me this question, and really thrown himself into it. And he kind of tried to pin it on Yasuhara-san, the lead designer for the game, and the Sonic series up to that point. It was like, oh well, you know, I was just a A-level designer, but you want to talk to the other guy, and everyone was like, oh, and he was just like, what, and then Naka-san got involved, and he kind of was like, I would say that, you know, even though I was just the programmer and the producer, you know, I did lead the project for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So let me just say that I will take full responsibility for that barrel, and can assure you it will never happen again. And everyone was like, yeah! And he got lots of cheers for that. So, you know, he won the day. It was very fun. Yeah, I very much enjoyed asking that question. I don't think anyone's ever asked him that since. Maybe because Izuka-san will just, like, banish anyone who even tries. But, you know, I got there first. So that's a notch on my list for me. I'll happily have that. The other one was during that interview, unfortunately, because of the cramped nature of the room and because of the heat, there was someone who fainted. And they had to be kind of escorted out to the side. And I didn't notice this at the time because there was a lot. I was trying to focus on so many things. I was trying to make sure that I was performing right on stage. My questions weren't coming out goofy. That, you know, Izuka-san and Naka-san were looked after and everything. And also just trying to make sure that the audience doesn't hate me for asking maybe duff questions. So I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on in the crowd. And then afterwards, when we got off stage, someone had said, "Oh, someone's fainted," and I was like, "Oh my god, are they okay?" And I'm like, yeah, they're just having a rest in the hallway next door. Like they've taken them to like a private space in round the back. Unbeknownst to me, as I was having this conversation, Naka-san was behind me, and he must have heard what we were talking about, and he just decided to walk. Well, I think I started walking towards the alleyway to the hallway to see if they were okay, and I brought some water and stuff, and Naka-san had been following me, and I didn't realise. And I got to this person, and I said, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was talking to their friends who were looking after them, and I was saying, "Are they going to be okay?" And, yeah, they just need a minute, blah, blah, blah. And this person was calming down, and they were like, "Oh, okay, I'm all right." And they were taking breathing stuff and exercise and everything. And then they look up, and Naka-san is like literally like next to the banister, just looking at them, and he says in English, "Are you okay?" And they go, "Ah!" Like almost like happy shock sort of thing. And I was like, "Oh my, don't make him panic again." What are you doing, Naka-san? You almost are freaking my people out. So yeah, so he kind of he was very nice enough to like have a very personal, like he took a photo with them and everything, and shook their hand and everything, and it was really nice. But yeah, that was that's a very fond memory I have of Nakasan, where he was just very thoughtful about the people around him, and he was very mindful of the people that were enjoying Sonic, even though he doesn't work at Sega anymore. He still loves that whole thing, and yeah, and I just love Izuka-san. So it was great just having to see him again. And then with Jun, Jun had turned up for Summer of Sonic 2010 the year before as part of Crush 40, and he really enjoyed that. And actually, I think this was the first time Izuka-san and Naka-san had turned up to Summer of Sonic in 2011. And I can't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure like half the reason we managed to get Izuka-san on board at least was because Sonoe-san basically put in a good word, because we had asked for Izuka-san specifically. We're like, oh, could we get him because it's the 20th anniversary? And Sega were like, well, maybe, I wouldn't, you guys are still kind of new and blah blah. And Sonoe-san was he was also apprehensive. And the thing you find, or at least not so much anymore, I think Izuka-san in particular knows that he is popular. But back in when Summer of Sonic was a thing, like a lot of these game developers didn't really know that people in the West cared about them. And that was certainly true for Jun in 2010. He didn't really realise that there were so many people who would willingly go and see him perform. And so that was that. And he loved it, and then he obviously put in a good word, I think, to Izuka-san and helped him get across. But that day, he was apprehensive at Summer of Sonic 2011. He was like, Sven, I don't think I can do this, because he was supposed to do a solo gig at the end of the day. And no, it wasn't that he didn't want to do it. He was happy to do the instrumental stuff, but he said, Sven, I've got a problem. Like some of these songs that I've got on here is like Escape from the City and stuff like that. Like they involve vocals, and obviously Johnny's not here. And so he struck some of the things off. But then I said, listen, you got to play Escape from the City. He said, but Sven, I don't, are you gonna? Jun was asking literally everyone. Me, he asked Kevin, he asked like a bunch of people, like, can you come out and sing the lyrics for this song with me? So I have someone singing. And I was absolutely not going to do that. I was not going to subject myself to potential like internet ridicule by like very badly singing Escape from the City. So I said to him, like, listen, Jun, you need to go out and just play it, because the crowd will sing it for you. And he was unsure about it. And for one reason or another, we had very few hands managing the actual gig that he was performing on the stage. We had no one on this particular light at the top. So I decided to run all the way up the balcony. So when Jun is performing live on stage that day, I was nowhere near that stage. I was all the way upstairs on the back end, and I was the one manning that light that was being shone on him, because obviously he needed to be seen. So I'm shining this light all over him. And so I have a full straight on view of what he's doing and what he's up to. And then he starts playing City Escape, and I could tell he was like a bit apprehensive. He starts playing the first few notes, he's like, no. And he's like kind of feeling the vibe. And then as soon as, obviously, as Sonic fans, you all know what happens next. Every time that song like that gets played, everyone goes, oh yeah, and starts singing the song, right? As soon as he heard people sing back to him, rolling around, and he had long hair. He was just like flicking it back and being all rock star, and he just got well into it. And I was like, there it is, back in the room. So yeah, it was very cool to see him like completely like get really into the zone there, right? And sometimes people need a push, like a gentle push. So yeah, I have another story to tell, but I am going to save that for SonicCon, because we are coming to the end of the time, my friends. GX is going to be on live very soon to do Sega Sonic Radio, something to do with Pac-Man or something, nothing to do with our 25th anniversary for some reason, but he has his reasons, so good on him. But all I can say is thank you so much to everyone who has just been part of the journey with us on Sonic Stadium. Like it really does mean a lot to me that the site has endured and the site has lasted as long as it has. You know, as Maple said herself, like, it's crazy that the forums in particular are still so active when the forums in general aren't just that active anymore. And a big part of that is because of the fans, people that come to visit. You know, you could say thank you, Dread, for all of this stuff, but really it should be you guys that I should be thanking for making all of this worth my time and worth my while. Like, I do all of this to try and help cultivate and feed and grow the community in one way or another. And you know, that's my hobby, that's my passion. Like, I like Sonic. When I started the Sonic Stadium 25 years ago because I was so jazzed to see other people online that had the same interests as me in a reality in my local area where I was the only person, I felt like the only person who cared about this particular interest. And I loved the idea that, you know, I had something to contribute. I have knowledge, I have things I want to say. And if I helped even like 5 or 10 people like feel the same way, you know, I feel like I've accomplished my mission. And it's you know, it's by the fans for the fans. You know, that's what the Sonic Stadium's always been about. And you know, in this era of social media where, you know, people want to try and just get clout for things by saying, oh, I've leaked this, or oh, Sonic's crap, even though I'm Sonic account name Sonic fan number 1. Sonic's crap, mate. You're like, you know, engagement farming and stuff, and you know, people want to just try and get people depressed and bogged down. It's hard, right, to stay relevant. And you know, I've got some ideas over the next year to try and keep us still part of the conversation. But you know, even if that doesn't work, or even if that's still like, you know, even if things go the way they're going or whatever, I'll still be really proud that we've contributed a lot, and we've contributed much, and the legacy of the Sonic Stadium is just inarguable. It's something that will stand the test of time, and hopefully when people start talking about, you know, the early internet and communities and how things were forged, and you know, in this era of social media where it's about the self, remember a time when it was about the community. You know, hopefully, you know, people will talk about the Sonic Stadium as you know, a beacon of that, you know, early 2000s internet boom era growth, you know, of community and people collaborating and partnership, you know. So I love you guys. I love you guys visiting my site. I love doing stuff for you guys, and hopefully we get to keep doing this for many more years to come. A quarter of a century feels insane to think about. So thank you all for everything. I'm gonna go now because it's midnight and GX is probably gonna prod me to play some Pac-Man or something. So I'm gonna take my little party hat off and drink the rest of my drink. And I might as well tell you now, the game I was gonna play was Shadow the Hedgehog on my Xbox, but I think maybe you chose wisely in deciding to go for story time instead. I'd really like to do more of this in the future, so maybe story time can come back another time, you know, and maybe you'll see me play Shadow the Hedgehog again soon. But for now, this has been me. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey. Long may it continue. Love Sonic, love the Sonic Stadium, right? Peace out. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.